Well, folks, with the Whitfield Report in its 5th season and me starting my 14th year of podcasting in 2021, I figured now would be as good a time as any to start a Patreon page for the podcast. And I know everyone these days has a Patreon page who is a podcaster, but let me tell you what you're going to get if you decide to join the Whitfield Report Patreon. At the $1 level, you'll simply be contributing. That'll simply be a way of saying thank you, and I appreciate it, but that's that. However, at the $3 level on up, you're going to be getting access to an exclusive podcast that I'm hoping to do weekly called the Savage Express podcast. And on that podcast, exclusive to Patreon subscribers and supporters, I'll be covering music and movies and pop culture and personally and anecdotes in ways that I can't cover on YouTube or traditional podcast platforms. I'm hoping to do this every week. I might not, but it'll certainly be a longer form podcast for those types of topics if you're interested in that sort of thing. And I also might be re-releasing some episodes of the Whitfield Analysis, my old podcast, re-releasing the back catalog, as it were, digging out some old video clips that I've had in archive for years and posting all of that exclusively to the Patreon site for you guys. It's going to be a good time, and there are a couple of different tiers you can join in at. I understand if you can't join the Patreon, but if you're able to financially support the show and you want to help out, joining the Patreon would be the best way to do that. So I encourage you to go to patreon.com/Whitfield Report and sign up on one of the tiers today. And again, folks, I want to thank you for supporting the podcast. Thank you for listening to the podcast. And hopefully, I can look forward to your financial contribution, which I deeply appreciate as well. God bless, folks, and God, freedom, legacy in that order. Said Owen Benjamin tried to poison my lasagna. That's how you're going to try and diss someone in a wheelchair? By saying that the wind blew them over? That's your slight jab at me, buddy? Nice try. Must be nice to try and make jokes like that. Found out about Owen Benjamin and the Unbearables. I can't remember exactly who told me about them. It might have been one of them who had reached out to me, actually. Long story short, in like March of 2018, I was looking to, of course, continue building the show, and I was looking for a group of networkers, kind of like-minded creative conservatives, and I was told about the Unbearables. I found out about Owen through the JRE podcast. To be honest, I wasn't really a big fan of him comedically. Like, I thought he was okay, but he wasn't, great. But I kind of liked what he was doing with the whole, anti-trans kids thing. That really spoke out to me. And in the beginning, the Unbearables seemed to be a great network. People who were doing creative stuff like art and design and podcasting and video production, parody, songs, musicianship, in the case of Chuck Forrest, and just late night streams, which was how I met the original DZ guys. Of course, John Neary was my first interview for the brief period of time I was with the Bears. But here's the thing, Owen's not even a conservative. He's a fucking leftist, posing. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing. how dare you? Owen is doing the shit that mass shooters do before they go out and do a school shooting. Here's my manifesto. We need to get rid of the weak people, and I'm not saying he's going to be the one to do this.
An Australian man murdered his wife with a pair of scissors, stabbed her in the chest.
This is a warning to the general public about Owen Benjamin. We've warned you. How dare you?
Must be nice.
According to him, the goat urinated on him first, in front of Amy.
all this gay talk is pissing off my German Shepherd.
Alrighty, folks, good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of the Whitfield Report. I am your host, Sam Whitfield, broadcasting live here from NGC Studios. And I want to thank you so very much for joining me here tonight, wherever you are in the past, present, future hour. And let me fix something real quick here. Hold on. Let me just go here into my camera settings. Okay. Excellent. All right. As I said, welcome to the program. I am your host, Sam Whitfield, broadcasting here live from behind the scarlet red microphone here at NGC Studios in South Florida, and I want to thank you so very much for joining me wherever you are in the past, present, future hour. Contact info, as usual, ladies and gentlemen. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at 70bear_NDC, hashtag Whitfield Report, on Gab, Parler, and Minds at Sam Whitfield, Facebook.com/The Whitfield Report, thesamwhitfield.com. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you get your podcasts from. And of course, streamlabs.com/The Whitfield Report. Joining me on deck here shortly will be the co-host Apex Gamma. And
I'm here, motherfucker. You can hear me, right?
Yes, I can.
Very good. Well, I don't know if the audience can hear the same buzzing that I can, but it is significantly reduced compared to what it was 30 seconds before the show start. So, hi, everybody. Hi, Sam. I hope everyone's doing well. Thank you, as always, for having me, brother. I hope you're doing well.
I'm doing, I'm doing well. I kind of am in a, I wouldn't say period of mourning, but a period of remembrance for, El Rushbo, much to Titty Salad's chagrin, the resident feminist.
Wait, you're what? I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit there.
I said I'm in a period of remembrance for El Rushbo.
I got you.
Much to the chagrin of some audience members, but we will continue to push on on here regardless. Anyway, though, how have you been, my friend?
Well, I have been nursing a broken rib since last Saturday, which is why you didn't hear from me at all last Saturday. Because I woke up Saturday morning with what felt like an ice pick shoved into my sternum between my lower ribs, like right in the front underneath my right tit. And I just assumed, because I'm fucking old, I'm like, I drank like 8 beers last night. Maybe I just slept funny. So I went to work and, busted my ass like usual and woke up the next day and was like, oh, fuck, I can't breathe. And this hurts. I can't even get out of bed. So I went to the emergency room and they're like, did you fall or something? Like, no. I remember the whole night. I went to sleep with a little bit of a buzz and I woke up not able to breathe. Like, okay, well, because you fractured 2 of your ribs. Like, oh, okay. So that explains why that hurts so fucking bad. So yeah, I don't even know what happened. but I broke 2 ribs in my sleep. Um, somewhat drunk, not like waste. I mean, trust me, compared to what I can put away, 8 beers is nothing. Maybe 10. I don't remember exactly how many I drank, but I remember the whole night. So the last week has been sitting on my ass and not able to sleep because your rib cage moves when you lay around or when you sit. So, and you can't, like, unlike a broken wrist or a broken arm or elbow or knee, you can't like restrain it. There's nothing you can do. Your lungs are in there. You have to breathe. You have to, that's your core. So all you can do is just take some time off. So that's what I did. Against my better judgment, normally I would have just went and suffered. At least after a couple of days, like, I can't let my people suffer. But the fact that it broke in the middle of the night, the best I can come up with is I tossed and turned in the middle of the night and like landed on my TV remote. And because it's the 6th and 7th rib right at the front, so they're not attached to the front of the sternum. They're real thin, and it's like the thinnest parts. And it's not like I broke them real bad, but yeah. So that's been my it's been my week. Today was my first day back at work since last Saturday. So yeah, that's fun.
It's always weird when you go to bed like feeling normal and then you wake up and something's fucked up. So
yeah, dude, isn't that weird? Because I don't think you even have to be like on anything because sleep can be so weird. You could just be super exhausted or something, and yeah, wake up and something's not the same, whether it be like a cricked neck or pinched nerve in your spine or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but a broken ribs or fractured ribs rather is that's an odd one. It honestly kind of freaked me out because it's just the week before that I broke up that fight and I got punched a handful of times, but I don't think I got punched in the ribs. That's what everybody kept trying to chalk it up to. Like, oh, well, you did break up that fight. Maybe you took some body shots. Well, no, I don't think so. I think I would have felt it. At least I would have had a bruise or something. But yeah, so that's my week. Just been trying to figure out this digital audio workstation and figure out why I can't figure it out. And just trying not to hurt myself. Coughing and sneezing, that shit hurts so bad, dude.
Oh, I bet I had a sprained rib. I had like a sprained rib a few years ago. Well, more than a few years ago now. It was back when I was in high school. But yeah, I mean it even having like a sprained rib hurt like a motherfucker. Just like just like every time you chuckled, it would hurt like hell. So
yeah, dude, that's yeah, it's one of those things. But yeah, so but it's it's not the end of the world. I'm significantly better than I was even 3 days ago. So taking time off is important, especially when it comes to an injury like that, where it's like it's in your core. You literally can't wrap it up. I mean, you can bind, which I did, wrap an ace bandage around your torso to kind of keep it, compressed, because the outward expansion is what hurts. Generally speaking, coughing, laughing, breathing, that sort of thing. So if you can kind of hold the shit in across the board, then But yeah, it's just one of those things. It freaked me out. But whatever, dude. We all get older. So move on. Let's go.
But before we get too much into the show, I do want to make one final note. I always forget to promote this, but if you'd like to contribute to the show monthly for some exclusive content that I'll be putting up, patreon.com/ the Whitfield Report. Shout out to Sawson and Bruce City for joining at the $5 level. So go to patreon.com / Whitfield Report, and I have some exclusive like tech review videos if you're into that stuff. I am also currently remastering some old ass episodes of the Whitfield Analysis, my old podcast, when I used to use like actual music back when you still could do that.
Yeah.
Back during the day. good God, I used to play Pink Floyd a ton on the old. Oh.
Good stuff, man.
But anyway, well,
It's been an interesting week, has it not?
Oh yeah, it's
As every week before it seems like forever at this point. Sorry,
yeah.
go ahead.
So where to start? Some of you guys were asking if I was going to go to CPAC, and the answer would have been, maybe if I had gotten more donations, I could have gone. But then again, for what they want for CPAC ticket prices, I could buy another computer, and I'm not exaggerating. I could buy myself another MacBook, and I could buy Apex a Mac with what they're asking for ticket prices.
Yeah, no shit. That would be donate because I need one of those. That's just kidding.
Yeah,
but no, for sure. And I mean, it's a fucking joke anyway, dude. It's a joke. It's it's, in my opinion, these sort of rallies, aside from like a Trump rally or a presidential rally or an actual candidate rally, someone specific, these are no different than the fucking protests. They're honeypots, man. You show up so that you can be fucking bookmarked, so that you can be further booked into the information log and assigned a fucking fed or two or what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm being a little hyperbolic, but I genuinely feel like that's what it is, especially when I saw the shape of the stage, which I've been getting ripped for on Twitter for just simply pointing it out. Like, I saw the shape of the stage. I saw randomly scrolling through Twitter. Someone pointed out that the shape of the stage is a fucking Odell rune. It's like an old Celtic, like an ancient ass Celtic rune. And I'm like, oh, fucking shit. They put that thing on their flags and on their shields in Charlottesville. I remember, like, distinctly seeing that symbol and going, that looks like a rune, and looking it up back in the day. So the fact that people are like, oh, you see Nazis everywhere, you're going to see Nazis everywhere. Like, well, I literally am a descendant of bloodline of Nazis, and I don't identify with any of this SJW shit. So just me pointing out, like, making an observation because I have a visual memory. People, the far gone right are like, how dare you? If you see Nazis everywhere, if you want to see Nazis everywhere, you're gonna see them everywhere. Like, have you scrolled through my account, you fucking retard? Do you know what? So yeah, when I saw that, it's a LARP. It's not good for anybody involved, except for those making all the money, I suppose.
Yeah, well, and as Johnny mentions in chat, he goes, Sam lives like 4 miles from CPAC. Yeah, Johnny, but that doesn't care. That doesn't really matter because, first off, it's not 4 miles. But even if it was just 4 miles, it would still be fucking expensive to get in. And I was legitimately looking into it to go, but it's just, yeah, like Apex said, it's a honeypot at this point.
For sure. I mean, 100%. I feel like it I mean, anything involving the people like Nick Fuentes. I mean, we've talked about this ad nauseum in various shows, on various days of the week throughout the past year or the last year. But I mean, why did Nick Fuentes was at the Capitol? Like, Baked Alaska took fucking several weeks to get any sort of. I don't even think, as far as I know, he's not even been charged for anything related to the Capitol. But the FBI is posting random young girls' pictures that were in the crowd, asking for information just today. From that rally. So, what I mean, Nick Fuentes and Baked Alaska are streamers. Like, they're not hard to find. These random people that they're looking for information for aren't streamers. They might have a Facebook or a Twitter account or something. Somebody might know them, so they're fishing for the normies out there. So
Yeah.
if you don't see it, dude, God bless you, child. As as the politely rude people in the South would say, God bless you, child. You fucking retard is what they actually mean.
They Titty says Nazis are shitty. They do dress well. I'll give them that. Well,
I mean, they had Hugo Boss at the helm, so
I mean,
come on.
they had Hugo Boss, but who else has Hugo Boss in their closet? At least one article, I think, is yours truly. And despite what the anti-Rush Limbaugh crowd has been saying to me all week, I am not a Nazi.
Oh yeah, you are, man. By their definition, by
Oh
their
yeah,
ever changing definition. I mean, I would think even by our very own beloved communist, both you and I classify in more category than one in the Nazi / bigot / reprehensible ideology.
well
But the difference between our communist friend, and the general commie fucking internet sphere is they don't refuse to talk to us because those labels exist and they like to use them just like we like to use commie and shit.
yeah.
But it's just a meme. There's still an actual conversation trying to be had, for the most part. You know what I mean? So
I will say the one part of CPAC that I did watch was I did watch part of Kristi Noem's speech.
Oh yeah,
before
nice segue. Go ahead.
For the show, and that is kind of a perfect segue into our first ever actual I guess the second Titfield Report segment on the show, with the first official one, I guess. So
I think the first one was on the Hug Box with Scorpio.
yeah, but this is the first official one on the actual Whitfield Report, I guess.
Okay, so who were the competitors? Kristi Noem and who? Go ahead. Sorry.
Well,
I'm not to get ahead. Not to get ahead of myself.
Well, actually, I don't really have a competitor this week. I guess I can't think of one. I was trying to think. I guess Lauren Southern popped in the news again, but I don't know what she's up to. Other than
Who cares, man?
yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
But
Continued. Kristi Noem.
But I just wanted to play this quick segment from thehill.com, and it's basically like condensing her entire 30-minute speech into 2 minutes. So we should be able to get through this. So let me cue it up here. And let's see here. Okay, so this is just a quick compilation of Kristi Noem's speech from CPAC. So clip number 1, roll the tape.
Happening in 2020, and it's an ongoing problem. Across America these last several months, we watched an organized, coordinated campaign to remove and eliminate all references to our nation's founding and many other parts of our history. Rather than looking to the past to help improve our future, some are trying to wipe away the lessons of history. Lessons that we should be teaching to our children and to our grandchildren. Now, this approach focuses exclusively on our forefathers' flaws, and it fails to capitalize on the opportunity to learn from their virtues. And they had many of those. By discrediting the individuals who formed America's founding principles, they create doubt, and then they can remake America into a very different political image.
Pause real quick. The one thing I've noticed with a couple of these CPAC speeches this year is the acoustics are horrible wherever they're doing this. Wherever they're doing this from.
Because they're more worried about the stage shape.
Well, whatever they're doing with the stage shape, it is not. I mean, and I'm an audio guy somewhat, as I know you are as a musician. But I mean, yeah, these are horrible acoustics. So.
Oh yeah, no, that echo is fucking brutal. So yeah, I agree. I have to watch on the live stream, so I'm a little bit behind you. But go ahead.
Put their lives and their sacred honor on the line, and they affirmed people's God-given freedoms. Still today, the Declaration of Independence is one of the most important statements of purpose ever written. And not just because it serves as the justification for our independence to the entire world, but also because it has led to our prosperity, and it's inspired many other nations and peoples to seek freedom. We the people have consented to a government that will serve all of us equally. A government that will protect and uphold our God-given rights, as well as the fundamental rights enumerated by our Constitution. It is our duty to renew our commitment to these ideals and to pass them on to those who come after us. These ideals cannot be dismissed as the opinions of flawed men. Our founders had their flaws, certainly. But to use those flaws to condemn their ideals and the greatest Constitution that the world has ever seen is both unjust and it's self-defeating. How many of us can even live up to our own ideals? Without the words, the beliefs, and the sacrifices of those few, the world would not have a ringing example of true freedom. To attempt to cancel the founding generation is an attempt to cancel our own freedoms. Let's always remember, America is good. Freedom is better than tyranny. We are unique. We are exceptional. And no American should ever, ever apologize for that.
So it was a big rah-rah thing about the founding fathers and whatnot, which, you know, as someone who loves history, I love reading about that time period. But we always hear about the founding fathers like every year at CPAC, and I don't know, it doesn't seem like there was anything new or, I guess, relevant at any of these speeches. At least not tonight that I saw.
Well, the only thing that anybody's going to talk about is the shape of that stage. Because you're right, nothing new was discussed. There's nothing new to talk about because they're all grifters spinning wheels. They're not doing anything, or if they're doing anything, it's very little. They're talking all the same talking points, but all that's going to matter is that stage. And I promise you, I'm going to call it right the fuck now. I don't know what the purpose is here, but that choice of stage shape there's not an accident, dude. And anybody I identify more with the right than I do anything. I don't identify with any fucking side, but if I had to pick one, it would be the right, generally speaking. So for me to point it out, and again, I'm getting flamed on Twitter, for the most part, for just simply pointing it out, like, just because people are, the hard lefties are freaking out about the shape of the stage. Oh, you want to see Nazis everywhere, you're going to see Nazis everywhere. Well, guess what? The last time the big bad boogeyman of the left had an organization, a gathering, that they still pull up 5 years later, they fucking flew that rune that is the shape of the stage. So
Yep.
I'm sorry, that's not a coincidence. And if it's not a coincidence, then there is an obvious attempt at something. There's some sort of something going on here. And I don't feel like it's an attempt at a movement as it is an attempt at honey. I mean, it's like the final honey boss pot, a final honey pot boss uh, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
I mean, either or works. Honey, honey boss
Yeah,
pot,
right.
or
Sure, sure. You know what I mean, though.
yeah, I mean, potato. It's CPAC, potato at this point.
What I mean, the other thing to point out though is the swastika before the Nazis adopted it was an ancient symbol that went through several cultures. It just like many other symbols throughout ancient human civilization that have been carved on walls, cave walls, and on stones from across continents and oceans, and you know what I mean. None of it makes any sense, but like the point though is there are many, not just the swastika. That's the most prominent, but there are a lot of ancient language, symbols, runes, or whatever that have been misinterpreted or co-opted by modern society that don't mean what they meant for the vast majority of their existence.
Yeah,
The swastika is one of them.
shouting.
That rune that we're talking about is another one.
Well,
You know?
shouting at clouds in the chat goes. Imagine if they built a Nazi airport in Denver, Colorado. What a ruckus that would cause. I believe shouting at clouds is being facetious because they in fact did build a. I wouldn't call
Of course.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
call it a Nazi airport, but I mean, you're talking to a 6th generation Colorado native shouting at clouds. I was born the year that airport was built. Okay, that thing is a honeypot for conspiracy theorists.
Well, I don't know, man, because there's quite a lot of conspiracy. I mean, if we're gonna talk about the stage at CPAC as compared to the flags and shields flown at Charlottesville, I mean the just absurd amount of symbolism in the Denver airport cannot be ignored. A rational person cannot ignore that. I'm sorry. And you're right. It may be a honeypot. It may be one of those things like, hey, look over here, kind of thing. But
there's a
it's not nearly as obvious.
I don't know. I don't know if they still have this, but when I was a kid, there was like a creepy ass mural in Concourse D, I think it was, of this it was of a whole bunch of like kids, and then there was like some Nazi looking weirdo with like a gas mask and a bayonet, and it was. Let me try and pull it up. I mean, there are a bunch of creepy ass murals in that airport that I've seen multiple times in person. But yeah,
Well, no, I want to instead of typing it because it'll be faster to just respond with my voice. Titty says context matters. Are you really saying that people at MAGA rallies were using those symbols to reference anything other than Nazism? Get the fuck out of here. And no, that's not what I mean, I was just broadly stating that across history, like I actually knew somebody of native descent that had a tattoo of a traditional, what you would call swastika, had pointed tips to it, but it was on his fucking palm, and he was a brown dude, and he was one of the first. I mean, I was probably 16 or 17. He was significantly older than me, but he kind of red pilled me on the whole thing. He's like, "No, fuck you, dude. It's not a." I mean, like anybody else, he put it on his hand because he wanted people to go, "What is that? A fucking swastika, dude?" No, this is a symbol of my heritage. This means whatever it meant in his culture, which is Native American, if I remember correctly. But the point is, is like, you see that symbol, anybody from this culture, this generation, or God forbid the next 2 or several generations, much like the swastika, they see that symbol or anything that looks like it, and it is immediately associated to the group that is most prominent in their brain that adopted it, not the thousands of years that it or what it meant prior to that, simply what it meant most recently. So there's no chance that it could mean anything other than that. And that was more the danger that I was referring to. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. And
Sorry.
and here's the creepy ass mural that I would always that I would always have to pass growing up throughout the DIA airport. And I guess they painted over it, but like here's the original one. So for the people listening on the audio podcast, there's essentially like a green like phantom ghost guy that's like wearing a Nazi uniform, and then he's like wielding a scimitar and an AK 47, and there are like some dead kids and like old people who are dying. It's like really weird as and then recently they I guess they painted over that. So I haven't lived in Denver in 8 years, and I guess they finally painted over that mural with or I guess added on to that mural, one of the two, with like a rainbow and something with like multiculturalism, and the Nazi guy is dead or now or something. So it doesn't make it any less creepy, I guess, but it's just,
Well, yeah, and you know what? That mural in and of itself, which I've seen, and the ones above it, I've seen hundreds of times over the past several years, scrolling through YouTube and conspiracy shit. And I mean, what really stands out to me is just the conglomeration of them in one building, on top of the variety of secrecy, which secrecy in a construction project like that is not unheard of. I mean, you know what I mean? Like blocking off places that the public doesn't know what's going on. Like, that's not that unusual, but just the amount of it that's been reported and recorded, on top of just the weird art. I mean, art is a symbol, dude. Like, one piece or two pieces is fine, but I don't know. That's the other thing, though, is I don't know what the rest of the artwork or the decor in that airport looks like. Am I just looking at 5 or 6 pieces out of 1,000 pieces of art that are strewn throughout this airport, and is it just being selectively edited for my consumption and everyone else's that enjoys conspiracies? You've been there.
I mean, I've been there, but it's been years. It's been years. I remember they had one when I was like a really young kid of John Elway and the Denver Broncos. They had like a mural of that from like the Super Bowl, but that was like way back when. And of course, that's more of like a sports mural. But then they also have that creepy ass horse out in the front that I shit you not killed the sculptor.
Oh yeah, the creator. Yeah, literally crushed him to death before it was done.
And
Yeah.
And I kid you not, that horse has fucking looked at me, dude, like as I've like driven towards. I mean, like my mom even she always used to get the creeps when when she would drop me off at the terminal when I would fly to Michigan or whatever during.
Bro, I mean, biblically speaking, there were the four horsemen.
Yeah.
And I mean, let's put a giant fucking horse with red eyes. Commission that as an art piece.
Well,
I can't. Well, listen, I can't personally imagine a scenario in which I would want to do that as the owner or operator of an airport. But let's just say artistically you do. Then the creator, a famous sculptor, gets fucking crushed to death by this sculpture that I believe was named something very satanic. I can't remember off the top of my head. Maybe you do. Or
well,
maybe you can look that up. But it was like Lucifer or some shit.
well. We were all told as Denverites, and never believed this, and neither did anyone who was smart. But people were told that was supposed to be like a horse representative of like the Denver Broncos, uh, logo.
Now look,
Which,
I could get behind that. That actually makes sense, contextually speaking,
I
because
mean,
of Denver. I mean, the Denver Broncos have been a team, professionally, or I mean, yeah, in the NFL for decades. So to have a rearing Bronco that looks, menacing in the state or the city of the Denver Broncos at their airport, like that does not make sense to me. But what does there's just it's all the other shit. And again, I get lumped in by the likes of our socialist friend that I am constantly lumped in with the other because if I don't align perfectly with their ideals, because I objectively try to view as many of them as many angles of everything that I possibly can cognitively, and I falter often, but I'm self-aware enough to admit that. But where I have a problem is when I have a cogent, thought and observation, as I have in this symbol thing with the stage and whatever else, and instead of just going, okay, it's the people on the right always show up to simp for people using swastikas and say that it's heritage, not hate, just like the Confederate flag, which I actually stand by that one. It is heritage, not hate, because I personally know black people that fly those flags on their vehicles.
oh
They're
yes,
redneck as fuck, but they are black. They are as black as the night is dark.
so do I.
Yeah.
Hell, I'm in Florida now. I'm a Colorado boy turned Florida man, and yeah, I know a bunch of black people who fly that flag, and they're Democrats too. That ought to tell you something. So, let's
Yeah, there's something to be said. Oh, wait, can you hear me?
yeah,
You can. Okay, good.
yeah, I
Yeah,
can
no,
hear
there's
you.
something to be said. There's something that's I feel like is lost in modern day conversations is ambiguity. There's no room for if you don't depending on who you talk to, and this isn't universal, but people like Alejandro, my good friend, my very good friend, whom I love dearly, and our various um, the various people in our social circle, both in real life and on the internet, that we don't agree with on most things. Like there is a lack of middle ground. You're either one way or the other, or you're nothing. You're wishy-washy. You can't choose a side. Just because you can't understand what I believe, I'm wishy-washy. You don't have the ability to abstract your thinking to a degree, that other people may exist on. You have it all figured out. So, and that's a common. It's like a holier than thou sort of attitude. That it's not like they, generally speaking, think that they're smarter than other people, but they think they understand better. And it's not just one side or the other. This goes on the right too. Again, I just posted that picture of the fucking Charlottesville rally underneath some prominent right wing Twitter accounts going, people freaking out, lefties freaking out about the shape of the stage. And they're, these, again, prominent right wing Twitter accounts that I follow. And I generally don't give a shit what they say, but I'll either like or retweet or ignore. I put like they're like, why do these lefties see the Nazi symbols everywhere? Why do they want to make everything out of something out of nothing? Okay, well, it's not something out of nothing, because their biggest boogeyman that they still bring up 5 years later is they used that symbol. They flew that symbol. So just pointing that out, I'm the bad guy. Now, right now, one of my good friends who's on the other end of the spectrum is calling me out for the other, for the other thing. I'm the other end of the spectrum. So the Nazis are calling me a lefty, and the commies are calling me a fucking Nazi, because I simply pointed out something in the middle. Like, hey, I don't give a shit either way. Don't burn the fucking building down. Never do a CPAC again, or do it for eternity. I don't give a fuck. I don't have a dog in this fight. I literally just made an observation. I saw a tweet about the stage, and it triggered a visual memory in my head. Like, oh shit, they flew that fucking thing at Charlottesville. I saw it fucking everywhere because I watched all of it extensively. I was on the internet at the time. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
I mean, this whole pick a side bullshit, you can go fucking dig a hole and bury yourself in it.
Well,
For all I give a fuck.
Well, the whole pick a side thing isn't. I mean, and I don't want to bring this fucker up. I was planning on saving it for the Gamma Hug Box, which will be returning next week, probably. Not this week, but the following week. And I didn't want to bring up this mental image up, but Vox Day, apparently does not think that Rush Limbaugh is a conservative. He thinks that Rush was a fake conservative, and I guess too progressive for him, I guess. So, I mean, that's my other point too, is you can't lump, all the right in with these nut jobs like Vox and whatnot, because, these assholes like to go after actual fucking conservatives too, like myself. So, in like APAC. I don't know, dude. It just annoys me when they try to lump us all in, because we can't. There's no nuance anymore in the media.
No. And that's part of the problem, dude. I would argue it's one of the main problems, and it's not. I don't think it's anybody specifically's fault. It's just like the nature of the beast, man. Like, there's been a wedge being driven in society for, I mean, since before I was born.
Oh yeah, me too.
Since
Obviously.
I would argue since before my parents were born, there's been a methodical attempt, and it's pretty well documented.
No,
Anybody that
no,
it's pretty well
no.
documented.
No,
Go ahead, sorry.
no. Titty salad. No. Hell nah. When our Lord and Savior AOC is president of the universe, nah. Titty salad, I love you. But nah, I am the Lord and Savior. If AOC is
Bro, hold on. Time the fuck out. Because if AOC sat there with a golden headdress on a throne with no top, and those perky 20-something-year-old titties, maybe I don't know how old she was, 30, early 30s titties, big old titties, and addressed you in a
No.
calm manner, you would do whatever she said.
No. Communism is
Bullshit.
communism
Bullshit.
is,
Maybe not on a screen. She would come to, or you would be escorted to her.
oh well I know she would come for me. That's not a question, but no, communism is a definite turn off. So now Christy Num, that's another story entirely. So
Anyway, Christy Nome, huh?
yeah, well, I mean, okay. Well, I mean, titty salad is more attractive than AOC. So, and she's not even famous. So,
Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. Titty Salad would implement a policy of nut crushing with heels via trans human beings for all white men, just as a form of reparations. So just take AOC. Titty's prettier, I promise, but AOC at least has some decorum a little bit. I love you, Titty. Move on. Let's not stop talking to the chat. What else are we talking about? I actually introduce it. I'll be right back.
So yeah, I wasn't even expecting to talk at airport conspiracies, and yet here we are. Hold your horses, Titty. We'll get you on an episode at one point, but I promise you, you might like it, but you might not. I don't know. I can't guarantee that you like being a guest on my show. You should watch The Interest of Stuff first before you determine if you want to come on my show. But anyway, yeah, next topic is actually something that let's see here. Next topic. So right before the show, someone sent me a so next thing. Apparently we're going to war with Saudi Arabia now. Or Syria. Who knows anymore?
Who the fuck knows? I mean, we bombed Syria, and that's something I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, that. Yeah,
but go ahead. No, I don't want to derail.
Well, I think. Well, this ties into Syria. So, headline from the New York Post. Let me make sure that it's. Yep, it's up on screen. Headline from the New York Post here. Biden teases announcement on Saudi Arabia after Khashoggi report. This from our friends at the New York Post. President Biden on Saturday issued a Monday announcement regarding Saudi Arabia, following the release of an official report that came across that it accuses Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman of ordering the operation that killed Jamal Khashoggi, who was a journalist, by the way, folks.
Right.
Plugs Biden told reporters on the White House lawn there will be an announcement on Monday as what we are generally going to be doing with Saudi Arabia. and I have no idea what I'm talking about because I have dementia. And no, uh, Biden was responding to a question from the Post about whether he would punish the 35-year-old crown prince, who is the de facto ruler of the oil-rich kingdom. Well, I already have the answer on that, folks, and the answer is, you know, if 40 plus years of policy has taught us anything, it's that regardless of who's commander in chief, yeah, America's never gonna touch the Saudis. You know, people
Or
want
the
to.
Israelis.
Well, I mean that's
Well.
well,
Our greatest ally. Go ahead, sorry.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say, though, Apex. All of these people, like Nick Fuentes, always want to talk about. Oh, Israel. Why won't the U.S. Why won't the Israel? Why won't the U.S. cut off our allyship with Israel? And my whole thing is, okay, I'm fine with that, but fucking do Saudi Arabia too, motherfucker. It's like, it's like they're both bad. So, in
Yeah.
my book,
So I wanna dictate something to you. This is from one of my Israeli friends, um, who admittedly is a prominent shit poster, but he actually lives in Israel, and he's just a shit poster. But here, I'm gonna just quote for just for the record. Trump bombed Syria once, well into his presidency, because he was led to believe Assad was gassing children, and then withstood great pressure from both parties, trying to get him to start a war. Biden, by contrast, invaded and bombed Syria in his first month as president, with his only consistent Middle East policy being do the opposite of what Trump did out of spite, even if it's
yep,
self-contradictory and actively harmful.
yep,
Bombing Syria would at least be understandable if there was some logic to it, but while he's attacking Iran and Syria, he's easing off of them in Yemen and Afghanistan, banning fracking and pipelines in the U.S., thereby increasing U.S. dependence on foreign oil. Picking fights with Iran's regional adversaries, thereby risking Iran eventually blocking access to alternative sources of oil and re-entering the nuclear deal that Iran openly violates, making sure that were that to happen, they'll have America's nuts in a vice. Trump doesn't seem to be any there doesn't seem to be any plan besides copy Trump's policy, but on opposite day for no reason. So I thought that was pretty. I didn't really dictate that very well, but you get the point. I thought that was pretty prescient because he doesn't often tweet about politics, but when he does, it's pretty on point. The last time he tweeted anything about Trump, it was something to do with Middle East policy. And how,
yeah.
or not
Well,
Middle East, but just foreign policy in general. Is like, say what you will about the dude and how he talks in public, but he's actually unironically like a really good politician. Like foreign policy and shit. He was able to get deals and talks with people that, I mean, the North Korea shit was trumped up. Not no pun intended, but I mean, when was the last time an American president has spoken in public to a North Korean fucking dictator, or for that matter, stepped on their land? So whatever that means, I don't know what the fuck that means. I'm an idiot. I just know that it's yeah.
how about the fact that within my lifetime, at least, no new wars were started. Under Trump, he's the only president I can say that on. Because like even back in the '90s when I was born, Bill Clinton was starting shit in Kosovo and places like that. So Trump is like the first president where I don't think we had like any major conflicts or anything
No,
like.
no, 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 no. It's actually a fact. he's the first president in like 45 years or something. First American president in 45 years to not start an international conflict. Do you know that? That's like 8 presidents. I don't even know. That's like 8 presidents or some shit. I can't do math, but it's a lot of it's a long time. 45 years to not. He's the first president. 4-year increments. Every 4 years, some new president has started a new international conflict. Except for Trump. Trump's the
Yeah.
first. And you know what? He says mean words, though. And he makes Titty feel bad. He makes other communists feel bad who want to feel too much for other people. I guess. I don't know. I don't know what they think or feel.
He you know, I gotta give him credit though. He you know, say what you will about Trump. He didn't start any you know, wars, and he you know, he actually had like a ton of women in his administration too. So yeah.
Yeah, well, and I mean, the argument is that I'm seeing is, well, it was a bargaining chip, and Trump just wanted to legitimize North Korea, which is all they wanted. How? But anyway,
Will says it'll always be Trump to me and Owen. Well, I mean,
no, it's
Owen.
only no. Owens bounced back and forth fucking 3 or 4 times, dude.
Oh,
He was a Trumper, anti-Trumper, and then Vox talked him into being pro-Trumper. He's listen, say what you will about that fucking piece of shit faggot retard, Owen Benjamin, but he knows what he's doing in this internet grift. He's got the right level of autism.
he he will literally take the side of whatever Daddy Vox tells him to. That motherfucker tried to get my attention this week, but he failed miserably. Let's see.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's go on to your one of your articles, because, and this might have tied into what we were talking about at the beginning of the show. I'm not sure, but
It does. It's actually, and you know what? I realize the source and what people say about it, as I do anything. It seems like it doesn't matter what I retweet or I like or I comment on. There's always somebody that I care about or somebody within my circle that's like, you realize what they stand for, right? Well, I mean, they're a publication service. They may have their ideals and they may have posted things that I don't believe on, but they're still a news source. And I trust the fact that they've posted things that I don't believe, especially ideals that you don't believe, that I also don't believe, that you don't necessarily believe, that I don't believe, at a core value. Just because the fact that they will report those things in that manner tells me they're honest. And I don't have to agree with them to take the news that they report as, factual or at least relevant. I mean, if it's opinion, it's almost always labeled as such.
I mean, if people want to complain about Zero Hedge, I have 3 words for them. New York Times.
Well, let me just give you a breakdown. The same people that complain about Zero Hedge complain about Project Veritas, who admittedly have fucked up. They have fucked up in the past, as every single human being who's been in charge of anything has ever done. So, I mean, if you want to chalk up, that's your opinion. It's whatever. I don't care to argue with people at this point. At this point in time, like, I'm here to just laugh. We're all gonna fucking die sooner than later at this point, I think. So whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, Oki. Hi, Oki.
The danger of the administrative state. Do you want to take this one, Apex, or
Yeah, I'll read. Oh, let me get it up. Hmm. The danger of the administrative state. All right. You got it up on screen?
I do.
Okay. All right. So, lockdowns should have shown every American just how tyrannical and unreasonable our leaders can be. They are elected leaders like Governor Cuomo who have acted as outright tyrants, alienating everyone, even those in their own party. Then there are those unelected bureaucrats who wave away our liberties with the stroke of a pen from the secrecy of their massive offices with technocratic efficiency. This is, of course, a sudden and dramatic curtailing of our freedoms. I would not be surprised that with this much public attention, some sort of effort will be made to roll back much of what has been done. Okay, pop ups. Thank you, pop ups.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. I do want to note that this is written by a fellow that goes by the name of
Tyler
well,
Durden.
yeah,
Yeah, I
and
think every Zero Hedge article is written by Tyler Durden. I think it's all
I think that's fucking great. By the way,
yeah.
though.
All right, so expanding the chilling narrative about the growth of the administrative state, which is essentially the regulatory apparatus of the executive branch, is usually confined to specialist professions. The ever-present danger of a slowly expanding and unaccountable apparatus of bureaucrats that threatens to sap the life out of American society and drown it in a sea of paperwork is typically a concern that only keeps policy wonks and lawyers up at night. Although many lawyers probably celebrate this dystopian vision because they benefit from the compliance fees, the regulatory state not only threatens to make society that much slower and dreary with its excessive onslaught of regulatory regulations, but it also makes us poorer. And from Robert Samuelson from the Washington Post, quote, no one really knows by how much, but quote, there is ample evidence that regulations has expanded and that this expansion has limited economic growth, end quote, as Ted Gayer and Philip Wallach of Brookings Institute recently wrote. So, I mean, so far it's just basically outlining the idea of cancel culture and how exactly what we were talking about just a few minutes ago, how people that we agree with, people that we align with on a fundamental level, we can't, because this idea of canceling the other has become so prominent, and it's only recent. But continuing,
Yeah,
the regulatory state refers to the organizations such as the Environmental Protection Agency, the Centers of Disease Control, and the Federal Trade Commission, Department of Education, Department of Justice, Internal Revenue Service, and all the other three-letter agency in Washington D.C. If you would like to see how, we're going to skip that part. The drastic expansion of the administrative state has come at a cost to not only our liberty, which is slowly being eroded by a sea of paperwork and regulations, but it also undermines our democracy, which we've seen repeatedly over the last handful of elections, especially presidential elections. But anyway, according to Article 1 of the Constitution, the legislative branch of the Congress is supposed to be the primary lawmaking body of the government. That is because if there are bad laws or laws society doesn't like, we can hold people accountable. However, more and more power has been shifted to the executive branch because of the growth of the administrative state. Even the judicial system is losing power to the administrative state after the establishment of legal doctrine known as Chevron defense, which binds the court system to defer to the administrative agency's interpretation of a rule, not the constitutional interpretation of a sitting judge. It shouldn't be too hard to assume that the interpretation will probably favor the ambitions of the agency, not the integrity of the Constitution. These issues are more. These issues and more form the basis of legal scholars Richard Epstein's assertion that administrative state is not congruent with the rule of law in this country. I'm not going to read anymore. That's kind of the gist of it. It's very
Yeah.
long. It's not much longer, but it's long enough that I'll stutter through. I'll make it longer than it needs to be. But that kind of is the gist of the article. It's just talking about how, again, what we were talking about earlier, how the idea of this country and what we were founded on, what I grew up with, and I grew up in a very what I mean, classically segregated, racist, deep South, slavery, inherited part of the state, Confederate flag waving. And the first person that I can remember teaching me how to do anything was the black dude that lived in my neighborhood that taught me how to tie and throw a lasso, because he lived 3 doors down from me and I used to ride my bike all the time. And he was throwing a fucking lasso in his front yard. And I was a curious little kid. And he wasn't I wasn't scared of him because he was a dude. He was my neighbor. He wasn't a black man. He was a dude, Now my parents, on the other hand, they dropped the N-bomb like crazy. We had a black cat named Nigger that my father named it, but he shortened it to Niggy. So all of us kids didn't say the word nigger all the time. Now, there was one time a cable man came to our house, and wouldn't you guess he was a black guy? And old Niggy liked to make a fuss sometimes. And my little sister, who was probably 6 years old at the time, was chasing the cat around as the cable guy was in the house fixing the cable boxes. Come here, nigger. Come here, nigger. Calling it by its full name. She didn't know any better. And the dude, I have such a vivid memory of this. He looked up from behind the TV. He snapped his head up from behind the TV and he started laughing, like hysterically. And my dad started laughing and we all started laughing. I didn't know what the fuck was so funny at the time. I was like 10, but that was like my stepmother, who was very young, not much older than me actually at the time, explained to me after the fact that was very wrong and we should never say that word. That was like my first experience with, I went to school with black kids. I went to school with Mexicans. I lived in South fucking Texas. Are you kidding me? Not so much black kids as it was Mexicans, as I've talked about on the show before. But yeah, no, the first time I ever, I heard the words, but I feel like I grew up in the least racist generation that's ever been born on the planet.
Yeah.
Perhaps, at least that we know of, and now we've got, I sit here and I try to defend against, white supremacy and this fucking Nazi bullshit, but I don't know what the fuck kids are into nowadays. And I see more and more younger people, especially online and even in real life, the handful of them that I meet out here in the middle of fucking nowhere, like some of it kind of freaks me out. I'm not going to lie to you. And I don't think it's what they believe. I think it's a pack mentality, dude, just like anything else. Just the same reason, I had the inclination to rebel against all of the social norms as a kid. All of them. Like anything that was normal, I didn't want to do that. Just because I didn't want to do what you were fucking doing. Fuck you. I want to be different. I feel like it's that where we are now. It's just that expanded, with the like a, what do you call it? Like a governmental wedge. I don't know. There's some sort of, this isn't on purpose, or this isn't not on purpose. We aren't all at each other's throats by accident. I don't think. And
it's definitely by. It's by design.
old Yuri Bezmenov said it fucking before I was born, I think, back in the 80s. And I mean, it's right on point, man. And you can't really nail it down to one thing, one person or one thing or the other. But if you look at the 30,000-foot view of the plan that's outlaid by Yuri, and not just him, but other people, but Yuri does a pretty good job of it. I mean, we're a good generation and a half into. Yeah, dude, I don't want to go down that road. But yeah, man,
Yeah,
I don't
no,
know. I just go
yeah,
ahead. I'm
no.
sorry.
For that type of stuff, we need to invite our old friend Semper Ham Wallet Reloaded onto the program to talk that stuff, because he studies that stuff. But yeah, no, we're it's crazy, because I mean the 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 opposing sides, with the exception of this chat, really doesn't want to have a conversation with each other. I mean,
Well,
as much as I love to tease Titty Salad, I do appreciate the fact that she's willing to be here. So much so that, yes, I did give her a mod
a
wrench.
wrench. I saw that. Yeah, hell yeah. She deserves it. Listen, she may be commie scum, and she may be too pretty for her own goddamn good, but I do genuinely stand by. I think she has a good soul. She is a good person, and I don't think that she would. Well, I mean, everyone can behave irrationally
And I
and such,
mean,
but it's not like with that wrench she could behave in a way you can't fix it or anything. I mean, listen. I'm a big fan of Titty Salad, and I'm a big fan of almost everyone in this. Actually, everyone in this chat. I don't know. I'm not sure who that storm cloud or staring at staring at clouds is, but I like them too. They're good. And Semper, is Semper in the chat?
uh,
Anyway, Oki and Laura and Saucin and Titty and Will and Johnny and everybody else, but what was the point? There was a point there. I don't remember what it was.
I mean, yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
remember. I don't remember what I was saying, dude.
I am also calling Titty my I'm calling her my Gamma War Bride at this point.
All right. Well, she's my internet girlfriend. So
Well, yeah, she's
I
my
beat. Nope. Nope. I beat you. She's my internet girlfriend. I win.
she's my she's my internet bride, though, Apex.
Well, that's
Uh,
fine.
so yeah, Will says Semper better be. Well, here's the thing. Semper lurks in my chat, like he never. Well, Saucin says Semper's not here. You don't uh you don't know that, Saucin. He could be
Talk.
here. He just
Talk to the chat. I'll be right back.
might be lurking. And then Will, I've got nothing but love for the Whitfield chat. Well, we love you. We love you too. We love you too, Will. We really do. And this might be a good chance for me again to remind you, if you'd like to donate text to speech, streamlabs.com /Whitfield report. That is pinned to the chat if you'd like to donate. And patreon.com/The Whitfield Report if you'd like to subscribe to the podcast. If you'd like to subscribe to the premium podcast. As I said, shout out to Sawson and Bruce City Synth, who I'm sure will clip this eventually. Maybe not now, but maybe a month from now, 2 months from now, maybe a year from now, who knows? I'm sure I'll be seeing this again in an edit of hers of some point. But
I'm back, by the way.
yeah, so Apex, did we talk at the cancel cancel culture stuff from a few weeks ago? I think we did. But oh, did you hear they want to make Superman black now? That's
Oh yeah, they want to make everything black. I saw an article earlier about a Dutch translator that rejected a job on translating an American poem into Dutch because it was a black woman's poem and the translator was white, and she rejected the job because she's white. I was going to see if I can find that real quick, actually, because I started reading it, but I was at work, so I only skimmed through it. But something I found on Twitter. Yeah, like the first prominent black female poet in American history. I can't remember her name, unfortunately. Yeah, but this Dutch lady was like, nope. She threw her hands and was like, no. There may be 5 black women in there may be 5 black women in all of Norway, but I will not be translating this black woman's poetry to Dutch. They don't speak Dutch in Norway, do they? Fuck. I don't know what I'm talking. Sam, say something, please. Stop letting me talk.
I think they do play. I think they do speak Dutch in Norway. If I'm not mistaken.
Well, I think Titty Salad is Norwegian. She should know. But regardless,
that
the point of the story is a white woman, because she has less melanin in her skin and speaks a different language, was raised on a different continent in a different part of the world, refuses to translate another human being's artwork into her native language because she is a different skin color of the creator of that language. That sounds racist. Like, if you look at that on paper, like, it's like, no, I'm not translating that black woman's fucking shit. You know what I mean? It could be interpreted that way.
Yeah.
Without context. So, yeah, what the fuck? I mean, I don't know. What the fuck are we coming to, man?
Oh shit! Thank you for reminding me, Laura B. Dannon. Coke. Yes. See, this is what a crazy week it's been. Coca-Cola.
Be less white. Be less white, nigga.
And then
cancel Coke Vanilla.
Yeah, that was actually a headline on the Babylon Bee that I thought was fucking real for a second, then I thought it was from the Babylon Bee. Also, apparently Oreos, like, made a statement about, like, transgender people, like, exist, which it's like, yeah, no shit, of course that they exist.
Of course they fucking do. Like, the fuck, dude? Black people exist. Black lives matter. No fucking shit, you fucking retards. All people exist. We're all fucking here. All lives matter, you fucking retards. Sorry.
Laura asked in the chat, do we Do we switch to grape soda? I mean, that's a little extreme, but I mean, we have to drink something, so I guess. Let's take back fried chicken and watermelon while we're at it too. So, Okie Dean says Coke sucks. I drink Jolt Cola. Okay, so is Jolt gonna give me a like real? Are they gonna give me ad money now?
Oki goes way back if they're drinking fucking Jolt Cola. That's some OG Well, I guess it did have a resurgence, but that was like the original energy drink loaded with fucking sugar, and you would crash like fl- fucking flight 19 into the field in Pennsylvania. I don't know if that's the
Yeah.
right flight number, but you get what I'm going for here. You'd crash hard as fuck because it was all sugar and caffeine.
By the way, we were actually talking about this the other night in the danger zone in private, but now Red Bull is like they're sponsoring all sorts of events, but I remember back in the day when Red Bull was just like an energy drink, and that was it. That's all it was. Now Red Bull is like everything.
No, it's still a fucking energy drink, but what happened is they were the first real energy drink and they made so much fucking money. I actually don't hate Red Bull for what they do. For the just nonsense that they sponsor a ton of sporting events. Both extreme sports, nonsense extreme sports, stupid flight things off of fucking 30-foot docks, as well as slalom skiing and snowboarding events and shit. Like they pour a bunch of money into supporting athletes, which I can get behind. Honestly, like I actually don't hate Red Bull. It's another one of those things. It's a symbol that can be corrupted in real time. You can watch it happen in real time. Like Red Bull actually means a lot to a lot of people that have spent their life doing something creative with their body, physically, be it skateboards, snowboards, skis, or fucking The Art of Flight. There's a movie called The Art of Flight. If you've never seen it, Sam, if your audience have never seen it, and if you have, I think it's free on Apple or something like that. But it's called The Art of Flight, and it is sponsored entirely by Red Bull, and it is one of the best. It's one of the best like documentary, not not best documentaries, but it's as far as um extreme sports documentaries. It's all about snowboarding, and they go to tens of places across the globe, and Red Bull sponsors the whole fucking thing. And it was made on a very, very shoestring budget, but Red Bull was the only fucking sponsor that got behind it, and it blew the fuck. It's one of those things, they're one of those companies I can't really hate because it's capitalism at its finest, in my opinion. It's what capitalism is meant for. It's what makes capitalism great, and it's what still exists within capitalism. Just because all these fucking CEOs at the top of the chain have been fucking sucking us like vampires for our entire lives, and probably our parents' entire lives, and your parents probably hated them for various reasons, and you found reasons to hate them too, doesn't mean that the system itself is the problem. It means the people that have taken advantage of it and changed the rules throughout the years are the problem. Because capitalism has freed more people from poverty than any system ever. Since the year 2000,
Mm-hmm.
I believe, more people have been lifted from poverty than like any time in history, recorded history anyway. Maybe I'm misquoting that. I'm sure Tito will rip me apart, but
Oh
either
well,
way.
we'll show rip you apart anyway. But
Yeah. She would rip me. She would rip me apart anyway. She's a banshee.
She would rip me apart.
You've seen how pretty she is, right? Jesus Christ. And
Oh yeah.
socialist. Fuck's sake. I'd be a Bernie. I would be a Bernie bro. No, fuck that. No, that wouldn't happen. It would go the other way.
She's
Titty would come out a fucking Confederate flag waving.
Yep. Yeah. It's she. Listen. She tunes into this program. The transformation has begun. Whether she realizes.
Oh no, she realizes. She knows what she wants.
Whether she realizes it or not. My other favorite feminist is now a conservative. It's also banned off Twitter and everything now, but you know, that's just the way things go, guys. So all of the interesting people I follow, except for you and Christian Blatt, are now banned on Twitter Apex. And of course, you know, young Matthew, who I know is lurking on Periscope. Probably. Most likely. But so let's see, we got through your thing on
Yeah.
we got through your article, we got through my thing with CPAC.
Does anybody want to come into the chat?
Yeah, does it
the VC and have a conversation with us about anything?
Does anyone? Let's open up the phone lines, so to speak. Does anyone want to come into the Discord and talk shit with us? This could either go really well or really bad.
No, it'll go bad, or it'll go fun.
Or it'll go, well, I don't want to.
All right. Anyway,
shouting at Clouds apparently has been trying to donate via Streamlabs, and they're asking for personal information. Usually, people donate to Streamlabs via PayPal, but
Sammy, I'm going to share your Discord in the chat.
Oh yeah, feel free to. Dawson, you have to stay on topic though with something like politically.
No, Sawson's going to say the N-word.
Sawson is going to get this stream banned though. I love Sawson though.
Sawson is amazing. Titty is amazing. Everybody here is amazing. I don't know Laura B that well, but she seems pretty fucking awesome.
Jump in the Discord, guys. So
yeah, come on. Don't be scared.
We do have exclusive ranks for those who sign up via Patreon though, so that's another.
Yeah. Shouting at Clouds just joined the server.
So that's another. So we're on the on air thing, and we can have up to 10 callers on here. Actually, you know what?
the fuck in here, y'all. What the fuck you doing? Come talk shit to me. Get me to kill myself. Come on. I'm sure you can do it.
Nah, that's
Hey, shh. It's okay, Sam. Just come on in. You can do it. Anyway, are you familiar with that? Have you seen any of that newest Netflix show, that single mother, dark-skinned daughter on Netflix? I can't remember what the fuck it's called. It's like Millie and Molly or some shit.
oh.
Fuck, I can't remember what it's called. It's been making its rounds on Twitter. Uh-oh, who's that?
Shouting at Clouds has entered the chat. You're on the
Let me turn down my TV.
you're
What up,
on
Cloud?
you're on the NGC network, sir. How are you?
He's turning down his TV.
Hello, Sammy.
Hey Clouds, how you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing good, man. I need to adjust my volume. Hang on.
You sound good on this end.
Yeah, you sound good.
No, I could barely hear what you're all saying.
Shit, nigga. Get your shit straight. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
That's weird. Are you on your phone or are you on your laptop?
I'm good now.
You good? All right, sweet.
That's very unprofessional of me.
No, it was very, very, very Whitfield report-like of you. You
No,
fell
you're-
right in line. No worries.
No, you're the caller and we're the host. You're allowed to make mistakes. We're not.
Yeah, it's us sitting here going, "What are you doing? What's going on? What's the problem?" Instead of filling in the fucking space for you to figure your shit out.
But anyway, what's on your mind tonight, sir?
What is the topic at hand?
I mean, there are several.
I'm just starstruck. I'm in the Sam Whitfield Discord.
Well, thank you. I mean, we've been talking about CPAC, airport conspiracies.
Yeah, okay, let's start with that, Clouds. How do you feel about CPAC's stage being the same exact rune that the Charlottesville idiots flew on their flags several years ago? It's literally the same design. You mean you saw that part, right? Or did you not?
Yeah, Charlottesville was like,
it was a joke. It was a fucking
it was a
joke,
religious
dude.
ceremony for the elites, really. I mean, they were just trying to invoke some kind of disdain for America. I mean, it wasn't really us. It was a psyop, wasn't it? I mean,
whoa, dude. Actually, no. That makes so much more sense, dude. Because why? How could they build a stage for such a major political event with the same symbol, if not funded? And
these people are very freaky and religious, like Bohemian Grove bullshit.
Dude, that shit's that.
Oh, can we swear?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I said the N-word several times earlier.
You can fucking swear, god damn it.
Swear all you want, you fucking nigger faggot retard piece of shit. I'm just kidding, sorry.
But they do love their religion, you know, like Fabian socialism is integrated religion and government. Dan Crenshaw is a good example of what the results of Fabian socialism is going to be like. Morals combined with government.
Yeah.
Dude, that just bent me a little bit, actually. Can you expand a little bit on the Dan Crenshaw?
The Duke of Edinburgh started the groundwork for Fabian socialism around the time Dr. Livingston was traveling in Africa looking for the root of the Nile. And Christianity was way too popular for him to break out like a slavery management kind of government. It was basically communism, but you get a bonus religion. It's not just straight communism. You know, all those plantations were going in the Caribbean, and they were working out systems to just, you know, be elites, do what they do, and enslave everybody. But they kind of put it on hold because other people broke out communism, and they saw how unpopular it was, so they kind of went underground, stayed on the down low.
Yeah, yeah. It's actually I was kind of talking about that. I mean, it's at this point it's kind of mainstream, but I've been familiar with old Mr. Bezmenov for many years.
He's a Fabian socialist. Yes, you're 100% on
Right,
point.
right.
Yes.
So, I mean, none of this is like that surprising to me, but at the same time, it's surreal to watch it happening and having like it's like a prophecy sort of thing. You especially with the age of the internet. I mean, I'm old, dude. I'm old. I'm significantly older than Sammy. Almost 10 years. I didn't even have a computer in my house until I was like 17 years old, 16 or 17 years old.
Yeah,
And
we're
by
about
that
the same age. Yeah.
yeah, by that time I was making fucking Flash 1.0 stick figure cartoons for 8 hours a day after school. That's what I did with my computer. But anyway, uh, the oh man, why do I always do this? Sam, what was I saying?
You're on a roll, man. You're
I know
hitting.
I don't know what I was saying, dude. I was
You're talking about
making
Yuri.
Yuri. That's right. Yeah. So the idea that I mean, I watched a lot of these conspiracy things. I mean, same with Alex Jones, dude. Alex Jones is fucking wild and out there as he is. The same, you know what? This is what drove me so nuts about Owen Benjamin and why I even am here right now. I never wanted to talk to people on the internet. I wanted to engage with it, watch funny shit and stuff, but Owen took what people that I considered at the time anyway, people like Alex Jones and uh I can't really think of anybody else off the top of my head, but just various other conspiracy type shit that was out there and wild that I watched 8 years ago, and then you watch it happen, and then you can call it back, and it's what I did with the symbol on the stage at CPAC. I literally saw it. Just scrolling through fucking Twitter like I always do, like a mindless goddamn drone. And I saw a tweet that's one of my mutuals retweeted. I don't know this person, but they were like, this is the CPAC stage. I don't care enough to look at the CPAC stage. I wouldn't have seen it if it wasn't on Twitter. But as soon as I saw it, it triggered a visual memory in me. Like, oh, fuck, that's the symbol that they literally tore their Nazi symbol, their swastikas off of their shields and their flags and put this rune to try and rebrand. It was in the fucking Unite the Right or what is it? Unite the White Right meeting the enemy documentary or whatever
Yeah.
that came out several years ago. So it triggered a fucking visual memory for me, and I posted it, and everyone's like, "Well, it's funny how you people that want to see Nazis everywhere, uh, just see Nazi symbolism everywhere." Well,
I'm D person, so I'm not on Twitter, so
no, that's fine, but I shouldn't be on Twitter. It's Sam's fault that I am, and I hope very soon that I get fucking excised from the platform because I don't want to be there anyway. But I don't have, just like I don't have the courage to kill myself, I don't have the courage to just kill my fucking account. All right, so kill me. I'm happy with that. I can go on with my life. I'll be fine with that. But yeah. So the whole idea of, I mean, I deal with it perpetually. I feel like people that I know and care about, people that I've never met and I care about. We have these conversations, and Alex Jones. There's all these prominent figures that get brought up, and it's you're lumped in with one or the other. You can't agree with one side and the other. because then you're wishy-washy. You're a flip-flopper. You're not committed enough. Well, fuck you. I will fight you to the death right now on grounds that I feel are worthy. But all this bullshit that these strings that are being pulled don't mean fucking anything to me. I mean, the fact that I acknowledge them and I see them, I don't have the power to change most of them, but I see them, and I still have an account, and the willingness,
Some power. You
some
have
power, right?
Well,
And
I
I did.
mean,
Go ahead.
the basic would be to stop buying their food, stop buying Walmart, and stop consuming, their
Yeah, that's a
products.
fact, dude. That's a fact. And that's where I have always had a big problem with these grifters online specifically, and I hate to bring his name up again, but Owen Benjamin has preached for a long time this ideal of self-sufficiency. Grow a garden, have animals, et cetera, et
Yeah,
cetera. At the core, those are fundamentally like those are so true. You cannot get any more truth than that. Like, as a fucking human being in a free country that has the ability to grow your own food, to grow your own animals, to slaughter your own animals, et cetera, why the
as
fuck wouldn't
repulsive
you?
as Owen Benjamin can be, right? If you knew about these people in the White House more than they let you know, I mean, yeah, he wouldn't be that repulsive compared to the company we got in the White House today. I mean, none of them
Well,
would be safe with your children.
I think, Owen falls into a unique category, and it's not that unique, but it's unique in the sense that he's pushed the envelope further than anybody else. He does what Fuentes does, what Crowder, who his mentor, taught him how to do. He taught him how to exploit the Christian right, the religious right,
Oh,
the
the grift is real. Yeah.
Yes.
oh yeah, dude. And
Uh,
but the thing is he pushed it further than any of these other mainstream people did. And in doing so, it pushed him further into the mainstream than he'd ever been. Because he was a C-list fucking bullshit actor, a shitty fucking comedian that played, uh, you know, um,
he played himself.
well, he played popular fucking songs and made shitty parodies based on what the audience said. And he just took that format to the internet and said some conspiracy theories along the way. And he, he I mean, he basically has a Jonestown. He's well on his way. We said it years ago. Johnny said it years ago,
Mm.
but he literally owns property. There's someone in his cult that lives on his property now. So
Yeah.
that's real. So, but I mean,
Well,
that's
he's got
all.
no skills, so he needs to. He needs
He
to.
has one skill. He has one skill, and that's
Oh
exploiting
yeah, that's
people.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, he has one skill, and that's exploiting people's emotions and shit. And he's not alone. He just is far less um, unapologetic. Most grifters online have at least a tiny little nugget of self identification. They won't go certain places, but Owen, from the time he got himself banned from Twitter, put the pedal to the fucking floor. The moon's not real. The moon landing's not real. Well, starting with the moon
Right.
landing's
Do you
not
see
real, then the
my
moon's
icon?
not real. Sorry, go ahead.
My emoji. I have the Moon Man as the emoji.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
Apex, if you want to turn your camera on, or if you don't have to, but if you want to, I finally
No,
figured.
I don't actually have a camera on the computer that I'm
Hmm.
using right now, which is my
Yeah, we
desktop.
can be
So.
independent thinkers. When I first got into this realm, 2014 or so, the first thing I did was call the observatory here in Texas, and I asked them. I said, can people get past this? What is that radiation belt? Um,
The Van Allen bout.
Yeah, the
yeah,
Van
the
Allen
Van
belt.
Allen belt. And I talked to humans, people on the telephone, and they were like, no, I'm a I work at this observatory. It's not possible. I'm like, okay, good. And I called another one, and I got another no. And from then on, I was on my way. I was like, we never got past the Van Allen belt. It's confirmed. I just talked to some people, because they're
Right.
people. They're not on the internet. They're not in a book. I just talk to people, and I'm with it now. So then I was on my way. I was off to the races.
Well, so I mean, that's a good approach, actually, man. Like to just absorb this. It is literally impossible. I feel, especially in 2021, even in 2016, it was impossible to do independent research on anything that mattered.
There was a telephone. I just called them.
Well, you could call and talk to me about
Yeah.
anything, and I could tell you whatever the fuck I think. And if my field in that particular uh, generation believes a certain thing, you're going to get a same general answer across the board. Now, admittedly, the answer that you got is kind of counter to what everyone generally believes, but from my research, which is admittedly I haven't talked to any human beings, but I've looked into it pretty extensively, and well, it's been years since I've done so, so I can't really quote any research, but uh, the what is it called? The Van Allen belt is not a it's not a solid structure like anything else in space. It moves just like magnetic fields, and there are weak points in it, which is what we traveled through. I don't necessarily co-sign it, but it makes sense to me without any knowledge of it.
Oh, we might have
Now,
gotten through it since then, but we definitely didn't in 1969. I mean, come on.
yeah, I mean, I suppose. I mean, I see shit on Twitter from people that I respect, calling out the most recent the Perseverance landing, the rover on Mars, because all the comments in NASA's post are like, "This is fake. That's fake. This is CG."
Yeah.
And I
In
mean,
1969, you'd be lucky to have a car that could drive across the United States without breaking down. I mean, come on.
I don't know about I don't know about that necessarily, but I mean, there is some technical I can't comprehend how the fuck they're sending radio signals from the moon in relative real time, considering I can't even watch Sam's stream right now in 2021 while being on this Discord without being 20 seconds behind, 30 seconds behind or so. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, a
So
pair of
that I mean,
1969 tires wouldn't make it across the United States in 1960. No, a pair of tires. I mean, we didn't have a lot of technology. You would have blowouts, and you'd go through a lot of things. You know,
well, and again,
the
I think a
rubber on
lot
your
of that.
windshield would break out. Your windshield wipers would have to be replaced. Like so many things on your car in 1969 would have to be replaced before you make it from Maine to California. That we just didn't have a lot of technology. All the silicones and everything that we have now.
Well, yeah, and to be fair though, I mean, we're talking about entirely different environments, man. Like
Yeah,
the
but
the
just driving
vacuum,
across the U.S. should be the easy part, right?
not necessarily, because I mean, in theory, yeah, like on its surface, yes, obviously, just driving across the surface of the planet that we live on should be easier than traveling into the vacuum of space to another planetary body. But when you think about gravitational pull and traction on those tires and the things that you deal with, and I mean, I'm playing devil's advocate here because I don't understand a lot of it myself. I just think that there's a lot of misconceptions here when it comes to, like, you look at the lunar landers and shit, and they're like, well, that's just fucking tinfoil, and they
What do
think
you
of,
do when you run out of gas in 1969 in Death Valley?
I
I
mean,
mean,
you
just things were
probably
different.
die. You probably die, but you know what you also don't have is infinite momentum based on where you ran out of gas. You don't just keep rolling forever
Yeah.
on the surface of this planet. In space, you do, and I mean, we've had Apollo 11 and shit. We've had near disasters and disasters in space in our space program, as well as Russia and others that aren't as well documented or documented at all, for that matter. But uh, I mean, there's just again, it goes back to independently researching this shit. It's like You can
Well, can we
find
just agree that governments lie to raise money?
yeah, absolutely they lie. And that's the fundamentals of all of this shit.
Yep.
You can't find the line between what's true and what's not, which is why I think you sound like a logical you sound like a sound of mind human being.
Titty
But we disagree. Go ahead.
Titty Sound wants to know at Clouds if you're a Q person, which I don't think you are. You sound
No.
yeah. You see, Titty, not everyone who's on the right is with Q. Okay.
No, I believe QAnon is the Council of National Policy, and whatever
I
Henry
think
Kissinger really wants, you know.
I think that Q is just complete and utter bullshit made up
Well,
by
the revisions that Obama did to the Smith Modernization Act just like sparked, it just opened up everything for something like QAnon to come through.
mm-hmm.
You know, and its propaganda is legalized now. Basically, we're in a wartime situation. The Emergency Health Cares Act is basically martial law. The Patriot Act is basically martial law. Red flag laws is type of martial law. I mean, we got so many martial laws on us. We don't even know, if we're really at war or not now. We got rebel troops from Puerto Rico surrounding the Capitol building. They're building walls around the Capitol building. Texas has countless lawsuits against Washington. Brexit, Texas to leave the Union is more popular than the president himself. I mean, we're in a weird position here. They got us where they want us, really. I mean, the Washington wants Texas to leave the Union just as much as we want to leave it. They don't want us voting in their elections or even they want division everything.
I kind of want Florida to leave the Union with
Florida's space too, yeah. But I mean, at the same time, we have the most Jesuits and all the damn Swedes, like was it Emerson satellites and
what
Elon Musk, all those Swedish Jesuits, Extinction Rebellion, Greta Thunberg, all the damn Swedes are in Texas, and they're definitely not our friends.
Now what's wrong with the Swedes? You're not talking like all the Swedes, but
you've seen the Extinction Rebellion go on. I mean, they're like they're like Bohemian Grove crap,
mm-hmm.
and all the royal families from all around the world are thinking now it's their time to make their move, and everybody who has any kind of royal connection or first industrial revolution connections thinks that this is the time to like just grab the world, and we're thinking differently.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
the royal families have all been fucking irrelevant for like decades.
Oh, they don't think so though.
No, they
Right.
haven't been irrelevant, and they certainly don't think they've been irrelevant, which is where we're at right now. And I feel like
we started out this conversation with the Duke of Edinburgh, right? Fabian socialism.
Yeah, I feel like,
and the Duke became the king. I forget which king he became, but he used aliases, like sock accounts, in the 1870s. He was using sock accounts or whatever, to
shit post. Effectively, right? I mean,
yeah.
So no, I think that's the real problem that we're faced with now. Is this is a conversation with my oldest friend. I mean, we're talking 20 years I've been a very close friend with this person, and we've been through hell and high water. Uh, and we've been, separated geographically for many years. But my oldest friend in the world that still lives, and that isn't family. But
Gentlemen, I'm gonna step away real quick and grab
Go
a
ahead.
beer.
Go ahead, dude. Go ahead. No, but I find, just like in the chat here, with people that I know I agree with and people that I care about genuinely, um, they there is this snap one or the other sort of thing. Like, and if you say something that leans one way or the other in their mind, they automatically snap to it. And I don't come from generational wealth of any sort, and as many people don't, and many people do. And this, I would argue, the vast majority of them, especially in this country, come from hard earned generational wealth. Like their grandparents and their great grandparents worked their fucking asses off to give their great grandkids what they have. But that is being conflated with people that don't necessarily have that generational wealth, but are not as incapable as are perceived, or as are portrayed through their life. And then the poor kids, whether they're black or white or otherwise, are taught that the rich people, they're the bad people. So at this point, it's especially for dark skinned, the black kids, it's the white people. It's the white people that are holding you down. You know, has nothing to do with the black person that's in office in your local senate or whatever, that continues to put their foot on your throat.
Well,
It's
how do you measure the richest Amish guy in the Amish community?
I
I
don't
mean,
know that you do. I don't know. I wouldn't know how to do that.
I mean, the civilization was only about half accepted by them, right? I mean, the Amish basically think our civilization is shit, and I tend to agree with them.
Yeah, no, they're right. Absolutely. As as so many other societies. I mean, when I was a kid in the late '80s, early '90s, we were already on the at the bottom of the toilet bowl, dude. We're down the tube now. Where we end up
Oh,
is
this corporatism, I was, I was like rage typing it in chat. I don't know if you saw, but corporatism and communism run in parallel with the fiat currency, and it's just going to end up with commodities coming to a astronomical commodities going up. It actually is kind of a bad thing, and humans become commodities, and slavery is the end result for both. This the
no, that's
civilization in
obvious. That's
general.
obvious, dude. Right? To anybody with a critical thinking fucking brain, where are we going? Where the fuck are we going?
Commodities. You are a commodity now.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have been. Well, the thing is we have been for most of. I would argue for my entire life, for all 30 something years of it.
How do you drive down the price of commodities? You have lots of children.
Yeah.
What do they want us not to do?
Have abortions. Well, they want us to have abortions. Is
Yes.
what they want.
They want to drive up the price of commodities. Yeah. How do we win? Well, we can't raid the palace or anything, so I mean, for God's sake, have a family. I mean, the Romans didn't really just give up and say, well, Rome got conquered, and they didn't just give up and say, oh, it's time for us to stop having children now. We're conquered. It's done. They didn't do that.
I think, I spent most of my young adult life, especially late adolescent into early young adult life, as like an ardent atheist, anti-religious type of person. And then I well, I grew up, I suppose, and it's not that I don't hold many of the same, almost actually identical ideals in my head. I just found ways to relate them to um, religious, I guess, prominent religious beliefs, most specifically Christianity. Like, I'm not a Christian. I don't go to church. I've read
Doesn't
the
matter
Bible.
if you're religious or not. They are.
Oh, of
And
course. No. I'm just
their
I'm
religion is more like Bohemian Grove kind of crap, though. It's not what.
Oh, no, of
It's,
course. And that's the
it's not
thing.
what you're. Yeah, it's not your
You
little
can't
white church on the corner. No.
that was actually kind of my broader point, was just because you don't believe something, or because you observe something and think, well, that can't be true, doesn't mean it's not true. Like, it's again,
You're just not invited to their church. You're not invited to the mosque in
it's
Saudi
the
Arabia
whole
either.
it's the whole fucking reason I pointed out, because I saw it multiple times from like like 10, 15,000 plus follower conservative Twitter accounts that were like, oh, look at these fucking retards. They see Nazi symbols everywhere. Like, well, wait a second, because they flew that fucking same exact rune in Charlottesville, the biggest boogeyman gathering of the left in recent history,
Mhm.
short of, actual Nazi Germany. And they
Yeah,
didn't even.
the whole really anti-white campaign started with that last with the Boston Tea Party with the boomers,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when we really started to see it in the media and everything. That was like day one of it. They were like, "Oh, we gotta
What was that, like
start."
2012, 2013?
That's when they decided to really start attacking inward towards America. Biden had
He said N-word.
Biden had signed off on the Patriot Act, right? And around before 9/11, right? Just before.
Bush, you mean?
No, Joe Biden did.
Oh, titties here.
Hey y'all.
Hey,
Hi.
you
I
don't see
finally
Joe
figured
Biden's
out.
signature on the Patriot Act?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
I'm in the extra bedroom in my apartment that's closest to the street, so I'm having trouble hearing things. But my mom's visiting, so I don't want to like wake her up. But
Well, don't do that, titty. Don't do that.
well, I said. I mean, I hope Sawson still joins if she's still listening.
Sawson better get her fucking ass in here.
Speak very good
She's got
English.
like the hottest voice ever. Like everyone's gonna pitch a tent and then deflate it by like jizzing in their pants because she has the hottest voice on the planet.
Aw.
Am I lying
Her-
or am I not?
Her and I
It's the
should. Her and I
truth.
should dictate. Her and I should
What part of the
dictate.
country are you from? Titty Salad. You speak very good English.
I am from New York State.
Oh,
She's a
okay.
New Yorker.
And you got the slave markings on your arm, yeah.
She's very pretty.
There,
isn't she?
yeah, this is my she's actually based on Lilith, my favorite fable based from the Bible that isn't in the Old Testament, so
I think the Old Testament's Jewish, so.
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, it's Christian too. Like Christians love the Old Testament, also, right?
Only the fake ones, I think.
Dude, no, Christians like both of them. Jews only like the Old Testament.
Of course, yeah. No, I'm just being.
Christians like me don't go much past the Ten Commandments, and people don't really follow that enough, as far as I'm concerned.
10 Commandments are whack, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay.
How so? How do you mean, Titty?
Tell me from a Satanist point of view how the Ten Commandments.
Hold on.
whack.
Hold the fucking phone. Let's be reasonable here.
I mean, specifically, I've heard Christians say that man should not covet his neighbor's wife is like an anti-rape commandment, which I don't think is true.
Wow, I go back for one beer. And
Come back to Titty's sexy voice talking about rape. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, go ahead. I don't remember what we were talking about.
Something about rape?
Titty salad is just a tornado of conflicting. Okay, let her go.
Oh, my Saucin's here. Yes.
Hello?
Saucin?
Hi, Saucin. Can you say hello?
You have to say something.
Good evening.
I hyped up your voice so much, so you have to say something.
I was like, oh, now I gotta say.
Ooh, there it is. There's my girl.
I'm just going to read.
Yeah. Boners in the chat. What up?
Boners in the chat. Let's go.
Alright.
Saucin, you do really have a very attractive sounding voice.
You as well?
Mm-hmm.
No, when I imagine what I would sound like, when I narrate my life story, it's done in your voice. It's not done in my voice.
Hold up.
Ladies,
Time the fuck out.
Lovely sounding voice, Saucin.
Time the fuck out, ladies. This is the Whitfield report. This is not the titty sucking Saucin's titties report.
Titty report.
No.
Hey, she just got here, okay? Can I get 30 seconds to talk about how... I'm just saying.
I would like to give her the floor to say whatever she wants because
okay,
I would also like
Sam,
to hear
it's
her
your
talk.
show. You can introduce her in a way less complimentary.
See, 5 minutes ago we were trying to figure out how to save the world, and now the conversation
I just want to give some shout outs to
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen of the Sam Whitfield report.
Sorry.
Shout out to Okie Dean. What's up, Ghost Dad? 3 Olives. I really enjoy your quotes. That's it. That's all I got. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Whitfield report chat, I present to you Saucin in her lustrous voice. Say more words, please. We were talking about saving the world.
Let me get a drink, so don't say anything too profound.
No, do it. Just say anything. Just anything, literally. Saucin, please. Words. Say them.
I'm going to ban myself.
You're going to ban
those were a few words.
No, of course not. Goodness gracious.
Those were a few words. Say some more words, please.
Now, Titty, say some words so I can say words. I can say these words.
Well,
I have a fun idea. Saucin, how do you feel about Titty's political beliefs? Generally speaking.
Have a what?
How do you feel about my really cool, awesome, correct political beliefs?
Right on point. Bullet point, No comment.
Hold on, I gotta fix my Discord. I'm not getting audio.
Yeah. Of course. The difficult questions come out, and the Discord starts to fuck up.
No,
Titty's looking all hot with her fucking librarian glasses, looking at the camera. Bye, Saucin.
She's trying to get me to take my shirt off, which.
Oh, don't you do it, Sam. Do it.
Which may or may not.
You better get some fucking money before that shirt comes off. As your producer.
Hey, girl.
Okay, I think I fixed it.
Hi, Saucin.
Hey, love.
Hi, hey, Saucin.
At chat, do I have the perfect amount of vocal fry or what?
Oh, you sound so good.
You and Bruce City both. And Titty.
It's vocal fry. I feel like your voice is more husky, which I know sounds like a really ugly word, but it's like a nice quality for a woman to have to her voice. It's like deep, but not. It's like sultry. I don't know.
Oh, thank you. I always feel like I'm
This
monotone.
this coming from the
A
most
sultry, vocal fry, sexy voiced fucking
What is going on here?
communist. I don't know, dude. The women come into the fucking chat.
I never get to talk to Saucin enough, like, in voice chat. So when I do, I just have to like.
Suck
I
her
should just
dick.
like savor the moment and stop saying anything. But I try to like compliment her so that she like does more voice chats and more interviews. But
I
my
think
love will
No,
forever be
I'm
Okay,
fine
okay.
with doing Discord voice chats. I don't like doing online interviews.
Saucin, you realize we're
just so
live right
bad,
now, right?
but that's
Yeah, of course I realize we're live.
Of course you do. I'm just saying, just reminding both myself and everyone else involved
Yeah,
that
you guys are all welcome.
we're having a
Join
lesbian suck
join
fest here.
Sammy's Patreon to hear more
Please,
Slauson voice chats.
please, please join Sammy's Patreon and give him money because he
Or
deserves
else
it.
I can
Look at
ban
how
you.
handsome he is. Look at
You
that
guys know
fucking.
that, right?
Look at that.
Sam,
Look at
have
that
you
handsome
given more
fucker.
consideration to doing a like OnlyFans with like pornographic versions of like presidential portraits or like Glenn
Oh
Beck
my
book
god.
covers or Rush Limbaugh ones? That would be very timely and very much up your alley,
Ooh,
right?
edgy.
you know
Edgy.
Come on.
I feel like you just want like I feel like you just want nude shots of me, which I mean
Well, yeah, obviously. Like
How can you blame her, Sam? Everyone in chat wants that.
I
Everyone in chat wants that.
I can't. So
holy
Well.
shit, Scotland Yard showed up. I've been like suggesting like nude OnlyFans like political, concepts for you. Yeah, no, I think it would be cute.
Yeah,
OnlyFans, by the way, is not just nude stuff. It's
doesn't
stuff
have to be.
it's stuff your fans are interested in that you can just like request things.
You could just
And
say
then,
the N word. You could just like start an OnlyFans and be like,
all right,
N
he
word.
is trying to get me to say the N-word.
We want to see Sam shirtless with a
The
buffalo
N-word, by the way,
headdress
in this
on.
case is
You know what I'm
naked.
talking
And saying
about?
the N word, please, Storm.
Yeah, with like a buffalo headdress on
Yeah.
without a shirt.
so
No shirt, buffalo headdress on, saying the N word for
So-
35 minutes consecutively in as many
So-
accents as he can manage.
so you want me to cosplay as Ted Nugent basically.
No, sir. I want you to create an entirely new character.
I mean, I want you to do that, but like
Inspired
naked.
by Ted Nugent, perhaps.
I mean as
Hey, that's
Or like
sweet.
tasteful nude. You know what? Like
Blue
Kurgan,
face
for
paint.
like all of his faults, he did do a very tasteful nude. I might be biased because he put my Reddit username on his like
he,
little like washcloth that
Yeah,
was
he
covering his
so
boobs,
did.
but it was a tasteful nude.
Saucin's I think or no, not Saucin. Saucin loves me. I think Kurgan's mad at me for stealing away titty salad from him. Even though he's a married man.
Yeah,
I
he's a
don't think
married
he
man,
is.
but
'Cause
he
I'm pretty
wants
sure
all
he
the
thinks
women.
that I have a penis.
Titty salad. What do you think? QAnon shaman. What do you think of him? Is out of 1 to 10? Where does he fall in? You know what we're talking about?
What the
I
fuck
know
is
who
a
you're
QAnon
talking about.
shaman?
Actually, okay, so like 1 to 10 in what regard?
10 being like movie star, super hot.
Like sexy, like attractive, I'm assuming.
Oh.
Because he's a shirtless guy, so he's obviously looking to be touched.
Okay. So he is. Oh, wait, are you QAnon shaman?
No.
We've already established that, I thought.
It's been like asking for
I
like
fucking love
organic
you,
like
Titty.
vegan shit in prison, so I didn't know if they had internet access or
Do
something.
not trust the
so,
plan.
like-
Trust me when I tell you I'm not QAnon.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so
Trust the plan.
1 to 10, what
This
does he
is
fall?
amazing.
okay, so like his ideology automatically
No,
puts me at like
No, we're just rolling in the hay.
Yeah, just
No,
yeah, ignore the
No,
Yeah, you put some
ideology.
duct
Just a
tape.
picture.
You know that
Just a
you know that
picture of
famous
him with
duct
his
tape?
shirt off and his headdress.
Yeah, you
can't
put
remove
duct tape
that
over
from
his
my
mouth.
brain. I've hooked up with dudes that I thought were like not that cute, and then they like made me laugh my ass off, and that like bumped them up a few points. And I've also like,
I don't care about those dudes. We're talking about QAnon shaman.
dude, no, but like it's the same
I
thing.
care
Like you
about
can be a
those
really
dudes,
handsome
Titty.
guy and be
No,
a
I care
fucking
about those
idiot,
dudes too.
and
I
that
need
like
the research.
bumped off a few
Yeah,
points.
we
And I
did
feel
the
like
research.
Shaman is like that. You know, like I don't mind a hairy dude. He's a hairy dude. He's muscular. He could be cute, but he acts like a fucking
He
idiot
also has a
in
pedo
public.
tattoo on his chest. But
Oh, is that what that is?
yeah, it's like the interlocking triangles. Yeah, it's like a common.
Like to me, that looks like a Celtic knot, but like, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's like how like swastikas are like used by Nazis and Buddhists, right?
Well, Celtic
But
knots aren't generally sharp angled though. I mean, they have sharp points, but they're rounded. You know,
Okay,
I'm a
fair enough.
big fan of Celtic knots.
I don't know. I guess QAnon Shaman is like a solid a 4.
Ooh.
Okay, now where am I on that list, Titty?
I was gonna say
Damn,
QAnon
Sammy, I got
Shaman
some bad news
is
for you.
about 4 shades under a me. Sorry.
Oh my god, this is getting so weird. Okay,
Yeah, of
like
course it
QAnon
is. What the
Shaman.
fuck? What are we doing here, guys? Come on.
Oh wait. Okay, well, first of all, Sam, you are a solid 8 because I think like having sex with someone that you hate and that you're angry with is the hottest thing ever. And I think you would just like slap me in the face and like quote Rush Limbaugh at me, and then like I would be like, "Choke me, daddy," and it would be like the hottest thing ever.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
I can tell you put
You
some
know?
thought. I can tell you put some thought into this. So
Oh, I put thought into it every day.
You guys are.
Sam, are you into slapping some titties? I mean,
oh yeah.
What are you guys doing to my innocent little mind here?
Sam's not above anything
wait.
involving titties.
You're innocent mind. You're innocent mind, Saucin. Oh please. You're the
Yeah,
one.
Sammy. Well, now I don't know clouds, but I know. Oh shit, Olives is in the chat.
Oh, we got a new person in here.
Hold on, everybody, shut the fuck up. Hi, Olives.
No, you shut the fuck up.
Is this working?
Yeah.
Hi,
Yeah.
Olives.
Yeah.
How you doing, man? Welcome.
All right. What's up?
Not much. We're just shooting the shit. This is the open line segment of the show, I guess. So.
We're just. This is the Whitfield Report after hours.
And we are totally not live. Wink, wink.
I mean, no, I'm just.
I was just talking to
I
myself.
I only have Titty Salad's camera up on my screen, and I'm definitely not playing with myself.
No, if you want me to leave, just let me know. I was just talking to myself. In the
No,
chat.
no.
Stay.
Are you kidding me, dude? No,
Stay.
fuck you. You leave it, and I will
Talking to
ban you
yourself
forever.
is possibly the best thing ever. I do it all the time.
No, I'm very happy that everyone has joined this chat because normally I'm the fucking retard just flailing around. Now I have more retards to flail with me.
I don't talk to myself. I shout at the clouds.
Yeah, you're
With my
good,
fist in
Apex.
the air.
Oh,
With my fist in the
actually,
air. I'm like, damn you,
sorry.
Lord.
Not to interrupt, but I did have a question for shouting at clouds. Sorry. How do you feel about QAnon?
QAnon? I think
Yeah.
it's a psyop. It's a Jerome Corsi kind of psyop.
So
And
do you think there was someone on
Counts.
the left who started posting it on 4chan to get people on the right to get into it to make them look stupid, or like what do you mean by psyop?
Operation Trust.
I mean, it has everything to do with the Smith Modernization Act and the revisions that Obama did to it.
How so? I don't like. I don't understand what you mean
It's,
by that.
it's
So would
war
you mind
propaganda.
explaining it? How so?
It's war propaganda that was kicked off with the Tea Party.
Hey, Cloud, was
Yes.
was it Russia that had a plan called like Operation Trust, where they used
Mm-hmm.
the Christians to
Yeah.
basically
Mhm.
Yes, it was.
Oh my God, yeah.
do exactly what's going
I
on?
never
right
thought
now?
of it that way, but yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we can learn something new every day, yeah.
That's what I felt. I mean,
That's what
I think there was a lot of stuff coming out from WikiLeaks at that time that was legit, but then Q came in and everything went.
I mean, that was like years
Oh
later.
yeah, it was co-opted, yeah. And
Steve Pachenik
Mike
blocked me
Cernovich
on
was
Twitter.
Mike Cernovich was like a call-in. He was like from an elite family in California, right? And he was just calling into radio stations in California.
I'm not.
I mean,
And-
like Cernovich was married to someone who worked at Facebook, and that's how he got a lot of money. Was that
Yeah,
she
he
paid
was
him
with
out.
the elites. Yeah, he was with the elites already.
Oh.
But he called in anon. He got to start by calling in anonymous to California radio stations, right?
So who
And
are
then
the elites and how are you with them? Is it strictly like how much money you have, or is it something? I feel like I
forget
hear
his
people
name.
and
I
it can
forget their
refer-
name, but like a lot of them, like the richest banker during our industrial revolution in California, like all of a sudden disappears into Berkeley. Like all these really rich bankers like disappeared and created Ivy League colleges, and then you just never hear about them again. And then you get like Susan Wojcicki, who says that she grew up on a college campus. You know, like these people are like raised in laboratories and college campuses. I swear to God. But like a lot of the rich industrialists just kind of disappeared.
Wait.
You know?
I mean, so, like, are the Koch brothers? Are they elites?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, they're
Alan.
yeah, but they're the ones that we're talking about. You don't really see. Like, who was the richest man in
I mean,
California?
you definitely do see them.
In 1870,
I mean,
who was the richest man in California? Do you even know? Like, these people are very
no,
secretive.
because I wasn't alive back
Well, I mean,
then. I'm like
we all
talking
read
to
it.
people
We
now.
all
Like,
read
unless
history,
it's
right?
like, I'm sorry, what did you say?
We all read history. I mean, you know about the Rockefellers, and you know about the only.
Yeah, no,
we only
I know about
a
that,
few
but
of
I'm
these people, like
the
Henry
fact that I
Kissinger.
don't know who the richest person in California was in 1870. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
these
like
people
no, I
just
don't know
disappeared.
that.
They
Sorry,
just disappeared. They just went underground. Like we know about Henry Kissinger. He's in the public eye, and he is one of them. But the people that we're talking about, like you'll never see. You don't know their name. You don't know where they're coming from. Like they're very, very behind the scenes.
It's like the highest
Okay,
you
so
can
it's
go
like
is Rothschilds, and then you
don't
go
know
blank.
about it. It's just like it's automatically. I don't know. I find this like whole like conspiratorial way of speaking about events and people like very sus. Personally, you know, I do think that there are things that happen that like the public doesn't know about and we don't find out about until later, and I think that's shitty. I don't know, the whole like idea that like QAnon is a psyop, or that like the people
read
who
the Smith Modernization Act. It takes like five minutes.
Fucking stupid. I'm sorry.
No, just I'm begging you, please, just read the Smith Modernization Act, right, and read the revisions that Obama did to it. It takes like 5 minutes.
Okay, I will.
There is like a real war.
I will literally bookmark it right now. What is it called? The Smith Modernization
Revision
Act? Revision Act.
Oh, it's Obama's. I don't know. Obama's revision. I could have it mixed up. But I think it was like last year that Obama was in office. He tampered with it, made it what it is now.
Are you talking about the Smith-Mundt Act?
Yes. But there's been revisions done to it. Like it started out as anti-propaganda from the government, and then they just bizarre world
like,
it and reversed it into the government is allowed to do propaganda. You know what I mean?
Just well, I mean, I guess you could say the same thing about the fairness doctrine too, right? Like that kind of like was what allowed Fox News to be created.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. This is like longer than. Do you mind if I read this tomorrow when I'm less drunk?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
And, no, I mean I'm just pointing it out.
Me on Discord, I will read it tomorrow because I'm off that.
They're at war with us, is what I'm saying.
No, I don't know anything about it. So.
Am I lagging out?
Propaganda was fully legalized under Obama.
Fully legalized.
That's olives, I think.
What was legalized under Obama?
Propaganda.
Propaganda on the citizens.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean that like. Hasn't propaganda always been a thing, though?
Nope. It was illegal for a long time.
What are you talking about?
Corporations being in with it. Propaganda's existed, but not allowed to be used on people.
Mike Pompeo was heading up
illegal, especially in the U.S. There are like people consider different things propaganda, and like it's a term, but it's not like.
Let me interject here.
It's not like it was ever illegal in the U.S. and like Obama made it legal. Like that's fucking ridiculous.
No, like Mike Pompeo was head of the Radio Free China the whole time he was in office. Do you know what Radio Free China is?
They're coming for you.
I think I'm lagging out.
No, sorry, I have an ambulance going by my apartment.
Or are you lagging out? Somebody's lagging out.
It sounds like ambulance.
A good example would be Mike Pompeo, head of Radio Free China. Do you know anything about Radio Free China?
No.
Enlighten me.
No, I don't.
Have you heard about what awesome people the Uyghurs are? The Uyghurs, the so-called Chinese Muslims.
Oh, yeah,
they're scumbags,
they're
right? Right, they're absolute
Chinese.
scumbags. They're like the kind of people you don't want in America. But they propagandize.
Wait, the Uyghurs or the Chinese?
Yeah, the Uyghur Chinese they're already in California. They're basically like entertainment, show business kind of cult. They're already in California. Plenty of them.
They're not though. Like the Chinese has actually been treating them really badly.
Yeah, that's getting in your head. All that propaganda is getting in your head. It's not real.
Are you familiar with the bodies exhibit?
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you can play off the fact that there is no mental health treatment in China. I mean, yeah, they have.
Well, no. Do you know what the bodies exhibit is? Do you know what it is?
Nah, I've never been there. Have you?
Okay, so it's a traveling exhibit, and it's like an exhibit of human bodies that are like, forget which they almost look like they're freeze dried, but it's a way to see people's like their circulatory system, their Like, for example, they'll have
yeah.
like a comparison of like lungs that belong to a smoker versus lungs that belong to someone who has never smoked. It'll show like human bodies in like different positions, doing different activities, stuff like that. Like, just a way to see something that is like an actual human form and not just like a drawing or representation of it. The way that they get a lot of those bodies to do that with them is from China, and a lot of them are either political prisoners or they're Uyghurs.
I'm not denying that. Yeah. I mean, the
That's
Uyghurs
fucked.
don't get along with the
Like,
old they
you
don't get
just say
along
that
with the
they're, like,
hardline communists.
treated like elites in
Yeah.
China or like in Hollywood, and they're like, that's fucking ridiculous. If that were the case, their bodies wouldn't be treated like garbage. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. Like, I'm sorry.
They're like regular
I'm not trying to
communist
be, like,
Chinese, right? And then there are
like, what you're saying is
Uyghurs,
so ridiculous.
and the Falun Gong cult. You ever heard of the Falun Gong? Like these two are like opposing each other, and so what I just wanted to take a shot at reality and say like you can find plenty of Uyghurs in California, and they're show business people. They're the same as the Scientology show business cult, right? The Uyghurs are basically the same as Scientology in America.
California, that's the closest part of the U.S. to China, and that maybe they come here because they don't want to be treated like shit. Maybe that's why
they come here for bad reasons.
They come here.
They don't want to.
Don't get put into concentration.
They're no different than the Church of Scientology. They're no different than the Church of Scientology. They're a cult.
It's the same thing as Scientology, that was created in the fucking U.S. Like, dude, it's just such like an absurd comparison, and like the fact that you would even make it is like just kind of fucked up.
I'm just saying it's wild propaganda that you think they're good people when they're not.
I think that they don't deserve to have their bodies like sold to a company that like does museum shows with them, even though I think that there is like a good reason to do that behind it. I do like that they're trying to educate people, but I think it's fucked up that you would assume that they're bad people, and I think it's only because
Bill Gates is a bad person as well. I mean, they're just bad people. A lot of them.
Hey, a lot like what? Like, why are they bad people? Because they moved to California? Because that's the closest place to China in the U.S.? Like, what are you even saying?
It's just another cult. I mean, we got the Bohemian Grove weirdos. I mean, we just don't need them. We don't need to save them. It's not our thing.
But I would argue that the Chinese that are killing them aren't good either.
I agree with that.
Because they're anti-communist is why they're getting killed. But their version of anti-communist is more like Falun Gong in the Unification Church, who want to enslave us and kill us anyways. So, who's better? Who's better? No one.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's better when people like operate in reality.
But they want to kill us tomorrow versus today. I mean,
conspiracy theories
basically
that
like
are
choose your enemy.
But we just have nothing to do with Asia.
I would agree with that.
Why would we do that? Do you think that there's like no benefit to the U.S. to have open lines of communication with Asian countries?
Well, I mean,
they control us.
China is just.
Have you seen one video game where you fight Asians?
Sorry, I can't hear when you're talking. It's okay. I just I couldn't hear both of you.
Yeah, I mean, we have our own problems here. We got people trying to get our neighbors. We got people in America that are trying to get us to shoot our neighbors. I mean, the last thing I'm worried about is China. Asia, Israel,
Who's
any of
trying to
those
get you
people.
to shoot? Like,
Screw them
who's
all.
trying to get Americans to shoot their neighbors?
Well, we have a lot of propaganda going on here. It's called the Color Wars. You ever heard of it?
Well, I mean, like, who's trying to get Americans
George
to shoot their
Soros has
neighbors?
had a lot of success in doing color wars across the world.
Oh,
okay.
sure.
That's one.
Yeah,
Eric
George
Holder.
Soros. All right, that's.
Do you know what color wars are?
I know that anytime I hear someone blame George Soros for some stupid conspiratorial shit, that they're a fucking moron.
Okay, so
For real?
For real.
George is a good guy. Okay, I got you.
He's not a bad guy, dude. I mean, like.
Oh, come on.
Regular dude. Yeah, regular dude.
Like, I would be really terrified to have your worldview because you sound like terrified about a lot of shit that will never affect you, and that is just too far removed from you. It's too different from you. You sound like a terrified white dude, and I feel bad for you for that. You know, sorry, Sam. I know I said I would always be like polite and whatever if I came on your show, but yeah, I just go to bed. It was really nice talking to you fellas, but I'm gonna hit the road. So good night.
Good one.
Cloud.
Damn, I'm having George Soros over for dinner tonight now.
I
didn't know he.
Cloud's scared Titty Salad away. So.
Did George Soros not fund all of those Antifa riots, though?
Well, let's talk about the fact that George Soros.
BLM and.
Well,
didn't BLM like burn somebody alive in a building? Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the fact that George Soros like turned in his own. Like, he turned in Jews to the Nazis as a kid. Like, that's mainstream now.
No
the old
remorse.
saying goes, once you let go of your morals, it's like a really slippery slope, you know? Starts out a little gradual, and all of a sudden you're like on a black diamond.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're selling your
your own people,
yeah, when you're selling your own people out to the Nazis, I mean, and I was just a kid. No, fuck you. You know what you were doing.
Wasn't he even quoted saying that like his biggest goal of his life would be to bring America down?
Oh yeah. I mean the
he's told every reporter in an interview that he is actual God. As in mini gods, they have mini G's.
Yeah,
and that stems from the Church of Unification as well, where like they believe Jesus was a failure because he died on the cross. You ever heard about that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So these people believe that they are mini G's. That's what they call themselves. Alex Jones did a whole segment on mini G's.
I mean, George Soros is every James Bond villain lumped into, one and then amplified like times 100.
Yeah, they just went straight from World War II into doing more and more crap in the Korean War. I mean, they didn't slow down. They just kept up the pace.
I can't recall, but isn't there one country that like won't allow him to come in, or if he does, they'll arrest him?
7.
I know.
There's Russia is one of them. I know. There's 7 countries.
I know Kissinger has a lot of places that are looking for him too.
Yeah. Yeah, he was head of our foreign war relations or something right up until recently, wasn't he? I forget what the hell official title he had.
War crimes. I don't know what his title was, but I know that's
he is a war crime.
So, Olives, you were part of the not to say way too much, but you were part of the Owen cult too. Or wait.
Oh, Yeah. I guess we never talked about that.
So wait,
Uh,
how did you find me? Because you've been in my chat for a long time, but this is the first time I've actually talked to you.
after my bout with Owen, I started looking at the gummy bear situation once I was able to catch him in a lie, and then you came up,
Mhm.
Chuck Norris came up, Revenge of the Sis, and what they were doing, and then that led me to the porcelain documentary, and then the one that East Scorpio did.
Yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
so you brought up the Ben Kenobi lie, which I had completely.
That one bugs me because I was in the chat that day, or I was in the stream, whatever. I was like a part of it. Like once he went to D Live, I was gifted a sub, so then I actually was like in the community for like 3 months. And that's when I started seeing his like manipulation tactics and stuff on the chat. But yeah, he said his great grandpa was Ben Kenobi from Galena, Illinois. And I'm like 30 minutes from Galena, Illinois. That's where my family grew up. And there's no Kenobi or anything. It's Ben Knob, like doorknob.
Well, no,
Knobbe.
well, no. His whole thing was, guys, George Lucas stole Kenobi from my grandfather, and I'm like,
He said that?
yeah, yeah, he,
He's a lion. Oh man.
yeah, he said that like, well, he actually said that like, he said that George Lucas stole the idea for Star Wars from like someone he knew. I mean, basically,
That's hilarious.
basically, like everyone who's more famous than Owen stole something from him.
Yep. That's true. I don't even know how he thinks he could get away with that.
When
Galena's a small town, so I guess he didn't think people would like look into it. Just by chance, I happened to be affiliated there, so.
When I was
So yeah, there's no Kenobi.
when I was when I was in Owen's group, it wasn't yet a cult. It was beginning to kind of be like a cult, but I joined when I joined the Bears, it was because someone actually asked me to, because I interviewed.
Oh,
really? My claim to fame actually before the whole Owen thing was I interviewed Ben Shapiro on my podcast before Ben was Ben, if that makes sense.
I did not know that. I'll have to. Is that in your channel?
Yeah, I think I re-uploaded it. I know it's in the audio podcast feed for sure. If you look it up on Apple Podcasts, yeah, I interviewed Ben when I was 17, right after Andrew Breitbart died. But that's another story.
Damn! Did you make it away? Did you escape there with your foreskin?
Yeah, I mean. So the thing about Ben was he was actually Ben prior to the Daily Wire was not like as weird as he was now, because like Andrew actually got him to chill out a bit there for a few years. Andrew would do.
I remember Ben on C-SPAN before he started going on Fox way back in the day.
Yeah, so
he's changed.
Yeah, so Andrew would do things like make fart jokes around him, and then like I think from what I heard, like Andrew would put Playboy like centerfolds in Ben's like cubicle or whatever at Breitbart, just to see how like just to see how like Ben would react to like naked women and whatnot. So
that's hilarious.
But no, so back to Owen though. So someone, it wasn't Coddington, but it was someone in the old, someone in Owen's inner circle actually reached out to me and was like, and I guess had told Owen about me, and so I was basically
That's
asked.
weird.
I was kind of like asked to come in and like kind of. I wouldn't say
Start things off.
well.
Moderate.
Well, so Owen was about to go on to the Daily Wire at that point. So I remember like the only time I ever talked to Owen was like in a Twitter DM back when he was on Twitter, and he asked me like, so what's been like what should I like he was actually nervous. He's like what should I do? I'm like just be calm and like act normal. Like don't act like a fanboy. Just you know act like you're just having like a conversation with a normal you know guy. And of course Owen didn't do that because he's awkward. Um,
He, he's weird. He used to come into the D Live chat rooms at night, like when people would just be in there chatting, and he would like I would I think he was like in there taking people's like ideas to come up with like for his next
yeah,
live stream and stuff like that. I know he took a lot of ideas that I mentioned in there.
he used to do
What
that.
happened with me and him where I ended up because me and him kind of had a verbal thing. Like once this lockdown all first started, he was all about the mask stuff and like that. And I asked him a question. I'm like, I take care of my elderly grandma, and my uncle thinks my uh ideas are putting her at risk. And I was like, so how should I deal with that? And he had no answer for it. And then I brought it up to another, I think it was Papa J Bear was his name. He asked me about it in the stream the next day, and Owen seen it and thought I was talking to Owen. And Owen was like, dude, you need to leave your uncle like alone. And then he went into like a whole 1 hour thing talking about his dad.
Of,
So
of
it was very hypocritical to me, and I was just like, I don't know, I was done with it then.
and see, we by that time we were long gone. So my group was the group that exposed. You know, my group goes all the way back to Nimmer, and like back then we were like I was like multiple people were trying to tell Owen, like this Nimmer guy is like, there's something that's not right about him. Like we're not even sure that his military service is real. Like you might like we were just suggesting that, we might want to check him out. Well, you know, they weren't gonna let that happen. Nimmer was his best friend, and like
Yeah.
basically, like the whole entire danger zone basically left because of Nimmer. And then like it was 5 months later when Owen got the gummies on stream, and at first he thought they were hilarious, and then in December for some reason he just randomly called us. He randomly called out to the guys that I left with, and so that was like the first big bear war.
Last December?
No, this was like in December of 2018, I think.
Okay. So I remember when I came in, it was right when Semper Reloaded left.
Yeah, so we were
After that big purge. Like I came in right after he did that. I don't know if it was his second purge.
So we were the first wave to leave, and then Semper's group was like the second wave to leave. So
yeah, I came in right then, so I was like, I didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it got. I mean, it got weird. It got like there was a period of time where like we weren't like paying attention to Owen at all. Um, and then it wasn't until he doxed John Arcade that we started paying attention then.
Yeah.
Um,
He's something's weird about him, man. He's got cult ties. His mom was in some breastfeeding cult. I mean, Galena, Illinois, it's a tiny town, nothing but Freemasons, and I don't know, something's weird about Owen. I don't know how he
well,
continues to pull people in when there's channels like Milker Nation out there and stuff that make it so obvious.
and I mean like I don't even know what's so special about him like leaving Hollywood. Like he's not the first.
There wasn't anything. Now that I look back on it, he basically, I mean, you heard the phone call recording with him and his mom talking about it, where he says, I know that's not the reason why they kicked me out. It was his attitude about situations, not his stance.
Yeah, no, it was because he was difficult to work. It was
Right.
it was because he was difficult to work with.
Yeah, if it wouldn't have been for East Scorpio's doc, that came out right at the right moment. And I shared that in the chat. I shared that in that Crow 777's chat. Uh, what's that flat earther that he's always talking to?
Oh. Yeah, I'm not into flat Earth, so I don't know any of that.
He was always in there and chatting with
Yeah.
him on stream. And I shared it in his stream too, and I could see him seeing it, and they just would remove it or ignore it. But I had
Well,
two bears leave with me. That was
well,
it.
well.
Some were actually like, this documentary makes me like Owen more. And I'm like, what? He completely lied to you about gummy bears.
I know that I know that Owen watches this stream too because he's made a couple of jokes about like me being in a wheelchair and whatnot, which I mean
He hits the low bearing fruit.
I
That's all he's
mean
got.
I mean that's fine. I mean I make jokes about my own disability, but at least make them like funny or something. Don't be just don't
Yeah.
don't just be like
No, Owen's just got a like an evil discontent for people.
well he's just like ha 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 you're in a he's just like one of these people that is like ha 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 you're in a wheelchair or ha 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 you're black or it's just very grade level humor you know not even
It would be nice to see, uh, what's that guy's name? Kirk, that comedian that Owen sexually assaulted.
yeah
Saw that.
It'll be nice to see in the next coming weeks what happens, and because I mean I don't watch them, so I just see whatever comes up with Milker Nation on their channel.
well
But
he was also
it's gonna
one of
be
the
questions.
well he was also one of the guys that that Scorpio interviewed too but
Yeah, I caught that.
but at the time Scorpio had to keep his name anonymous. So
But no, it looks like that Kirk dude must have caught one of Owen's streams and just does not like his don't like what he's doing now and is speaking out about it more.
yeah,
Plus, it actually sounded like he was actually really upset about it, which I would have been. I'm like 5'2", 5'3". Some dude picked me up and stuck his tongue in my mouth.
yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah, dude. I mean, he's done some really heinous I wouldn't have ever had a problem with him if, he hadn't doxed like two of my friends, and then his cult members were like making death threats to me and everyone else who left. So
I can't believe he is actually like I didn't when I started hearing about Bertaria, I was like, this is a dumb idea. It'll probably be forgot about in a month or something. It looks like he's going through with it.
well,
I mean,
well,
he's gonna have a full-on physical cult. It ain't gonna just be online.
here's the thing with Owen. I've figured out. Anytime you criticize him, or point out like a flaw
Yep.
in his logic, instead of going, you might be right about that, or like even considering it, he doubles down on whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I guarantee you the only reason why he's still talking about Bertari is because like he just wants to prove us wrong in his mind.
Mm.
So
I thought it was gonna end by now. I was thinking maybe IRS was gonna raid him or something.
I'm honestly surprised he hasn't. So I mean he was going full blown full Muslim for a while.
Oh yeah.
And until I made a video saying I have contacts in the Department of Homeland Security, and that I told them about Owen. So then he stopped doing his Al Qaeda Junior thing real quick. So
I mean, he's gotta be on their radar. Like,
oh yeah.
I don't know anybody that's as profane as him, especially when he talks about those issues.
I don't know anyone who gets away with as much as he does.
Yeah, it's almost like he has a pass. Because I think he just deletes his YouTube channels and Instagram accounts. I don't even know if he gets. I mean, Twitter did ban him, but
yeah,
there
well,
is some evidence that with the YouTube stuff, he didn't like how people were just able to have access to him. So it seems like he shut those channels down and just went to be live.
he. So here's the thing. So he got banned from Twitter on purpose because of the clout, and now he wants to do the same thing with YouTube because he knows that like that's the new edgy thing to do.
Yeah, it's kind of like what Jesse Spot says about how they know him and Vox know how to use that Barbara Streisand effect.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I can't watch Vox. I can't even watch videos making fun of him. He's so fucking boring.
so yeah, and Vox also, I mean, so the funny thing is people think that Vox is like some conservative, like figurehead, right? But he hates conservatives, like openly. So like
I could see that.
So like like he actually made like a post on his blog like just yesterday, like basically saying that he was glad that like Rush Limbaugh was dead and stuff like that. So
Wow. What?
I mean
He's like Blackadder in real life.
well I mean
Trying to.
I mean he's this is what I've been saying, like he and Owen are both like leftists. Like they're the SJWs that they criticize.
Yep. It's projection.
Like Vox literally wrote a book.
Is a gamma.
Yeah. Vox and Owen are the gammas that that they think everyone else is. So,
Hmm.
I mean, and the other thing too is Vox has, like Vox has basically like plagiarized all of his books,
Oh
or
man, they're shitty.
or maybe not plagiarized, but he's certainly like borrowed the ideas heavily from
Game of Bones.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't read that Jordanetics or anything. I know those comic book stuff, and the supposed movies and everything. That's a scam.
that the comic book series that he wrote is just a I don't know if you've seen if you've seen the
Seen some of the
boys.
artwork. No, I didn't see The Boys. Is
Well,
it basically that?
Well, yeah, I mean, so the boys before it got turned into a series on Amazon was a comic book that came out like 5 or 6 years ago, kind of on the same premise about like evil, superheroes and whatnot. And Vox basically just ripped that off and made it like in his vernacular, basically.
But guys, it's got leatherback binding.
Yeah. Hey, where is he, Scorpio? I miss that guy, man.
East Scorpio will be East Scorpio and I and Apex will be resuming the Gamma Hug box. Probably in a couple weeks. We just had to take a break like around the holidays. It was getting to be like too much just keeping track of all these knuckleheads.
I've had plenty of you. I haven't had enough of East Scorpio.
So well, geez, I'm
no, I'm just kidding.
Well,
I'm just playing, man.
Well, E is always in my Discord, but I think he goes to bed early usually. I think his producer though, Starshine, might still be in here.
Actually, it sucks. I had that video clip of Owen saying that his grandpa was that name, and he was like, "I will not apologize." And I had it saved, but then Apex's channel got struck or removed.
Mm-hmm.
So I lost the video. I was gonna make a video calling it out, but without that context in it, it's pointless.
Yeah, well, I mean, and the other thing too is like I've known Alan Powell for a long ass time too. Alan and I both hijacked one of the unbearable Facebook groups on Facebook, and that was fun.
Yeah, I ran one of those for a little bit until I seen that East Scorpio doc, and then I just put it in there, and that's where everybody was like, 2 left with me, and the other 100 were like, "Oh, I like Owen more," which was really odd.
Yeah. Yeah, it was odd. I mean, what was really odd was when he started talking about like penises obsessively. That was weird.
We all know what it's about. He can't, and he won't get over it until he repents and admits it. And I don't think he can get there.
Yeah, we are basically a Christian nation, and we have kind of an understanding of like, if you dox somebody or endanger somebody, you step back and you repent a little bit. You're like, I'm gonna, make myself more palatable, in the eyes of God, right? And whether people are Christian or not, like, we can apologize to each other. It's a form of repentance,
Yep.
But like you can't just start apologizing to people from China or whatever, like it's not going to work. We're not on the same system, of repentance and fall back, and instead they just hit the gas all the time. It's always gas, gas, gas. Oh, I fucked up. Gas, gas, gas. Like you
Yeah,
got.
he doubles down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So. I mean, that's the conflict. I mean, whether you claim to be Christian or not, we have a Christian structure kind of set up. Where we can get along. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, he just needs to come out of the closet, and he'll be. And I mean, like, seriously, that's all I want. That's all I want from him is to just like.
Right? I don't hate. I mean, yeah, I don't hate the guy. I don't like him manipulating and leading people astray that are looking for Christ or whatnot.
I mean, I will say this: I do hate Owen. I think he's a piece of shit. But I don't. But with that being said, I don't want anything to happen to him.
Same, yeah.
Well, I mean, he's completely not Christian. You understand that, right?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, no
hung
shit.
out with Crowder, seen that there was a grift in it, and now he's
I'm saying in his basic behavior, you can tell he's not anything Christian.
Yeah.
Not even in the same zip code.
I mean,
nowhere near.
I mean, the only reason I talk about like boobs so much on my show is literally just to troll the bears and like, and they keep saying like, Sam, you're obsessed with tits, and I'm like, yeah, well. I'm like, yeah, well, at least I can admit it. So I don't.
Your thing.
I don't have to be like, oh, that statue looks like a boob, or some.
I'm just pointing it out.
I'm just pointing that out, but I'm totally not obsessed with the.
That last Milk Nation had me laughing so hard.
Yeah, you should check out some of Bruce City Sin's videos as well. So, hey, Keck Boy, how you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey Sam, I'm gonna hang up and go into chat. Right?
Okay.
All right.
Thanks for joining us, Clouds.
All right. Have a good one.
You too. But yeah, hey Keck, what's going on?
Not much, man. Just having a bad stomach night, man. Upset stomach, so I took some medicine, took a little nap, woke up, and the first side come into the chat. First thing I hear out of you is tits. I'm like, huh, tits. Okay. So far this is an interesting Saturday night discussion. Tits.
Well, we were. Well, I mean, I can admit I love tits, unlike Owen, who can't admit that he likes, phalluses.
And Sammy was just, being honest with us.
But no, Olive's here has been a long time listener of the show, but I've never talked to him, and we were just going over some of the old Owen cult stuff. So yeah, it's and I don't even know what Owen is doing now, to be honest, other than
I don't know. Last I seen, he was looked like he was in some shed in Idaho, supposedly, but it looked like his girlfriend just didn't want him, or his wife just didn't want him inside.
yeah, well, I mean, that was the same thing in that goes back to New York too, where like he would just be out in he would be out in like his shed by himself. So
Well, it's because of he can't control his language around the kids. He's shown that. and he talks some pretty disgusting stuff. So,
But yet he's family friendly.
right. And he's got that if you notice, if you watch him when he's on his computer, he like hovers over his laptop. Like those, like if you go into like somebody, you accidentally walk into somebody's room and they're like doing something, hovering over the laptop. He has
Yeah.
like that instinctual thing where he's always hovering over it.
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
behind him.
Yeah, yeah, and he always gets like real quiet when the kids come into the room too. Like I've literally seen him be like, and that's a big black dick. Oh shit.
Oh man. Yeah, it'll just be interesting to see how it turns out.
Yeah, I'm curious to see like I'm
I mean,
curious to see,
Jared Leto has an open cult.
yeah. Yeah,
Maybe that's where the culture's going.
Well, I mean, I think all celebrities to a certain extent have, a cult,
Yeah.
I mean, like technically,
Cult-like personalities.
I mean, like technically, this audience could be a cult, and same with Revenge of the Sith. If we really want to, get like technically all these internet groups could be like considered subcults, I guess.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't know. That's why after Owen, I quit putting people on pedestals and just only Christ now.
mm-hmm.
So actually, something good did come out of it, kind of.
Yeah, well, I mean, I like I like doing the show, but like it does weird me out a bit when people ask me for life advice, and like I don't know them that well, just because like I saw how that turned out with Owen, like giving bad life advice to people, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm just one guy, like, I'm trying to figure out my life
That
life
was my
too.
thing with Owen too. He was like, look at Nathaniel Slattery and Singalong Bear. They got married like right away because Owen's just like, get married, have kids, get a homestead, don't think about it, do it. And it's like, it's not that simple, dude. Like, you got money, you can do that.
Yeah,
but a lot of other people can't just go do that.
Well, and also like
you should know the person too before you get married.
Well, and also he's like young men need to, like they need to start like having babies at 18, and I'm like, dude, you didn't have kids until you were like until you were like 38 years old, which is, hey, listen, some people, just start late, and that's fine, but if you're gonna,
I know he uses that to attack people now.
Yeah,
he has a fan.
Yeah, and the other thing is, the other thing too is it goes back to him not being gay, right? He's like, I can't be gay because I have a family. Meanwhile, and then like 5 minutes later, he'll be like, my dad is gay.
I think about 2 months ago, I came to the conclusion that it basically is all repressed homosexuality.
That's what it is. That's why he needs to come out of the closet.
Mm-hmm. I hate him for it either. I'd be like, all right, cool. Now you can move on with your life.
Now I can go shopping with Amy and like it's like Johnny Arcade was saying on one of my streams a few months ago. Like they can go shopping together and like do home decorating and like get their get like their nails done, and Owen will be like 100% happier. So
Enough about Owen though. He gets.
yeah, it gets.
A couple months ago, it was more interesting. Nowadays, I'm just waiting to see what happens.
Well, nowadays, like Owen keeps nuking himself off of every platform, and it's too exhausting to like try and keep up with him even now.
Yeah, he probably does that on purpose too. So
Yeah, and it's like
you can't get the clip edited or the clip videos.
I mean, and the thing it is too is like at this point, I would say that like over 60% of the people that watch him just watch him because they're us and they're making fun of him on stream.
I mean, I always laughed at his spirals, whether or not.
Yeah. Oh, me too. I mean, I mean,
funny thing about him, he legitimately actually isn't a funny comedian.
No, he's not.
He's okay with riffing with people online.
I mean, he's even bad at that. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say I'm a better riffer than he is. So,
I prefer you much more than Owen. Lord.
I mean, he can't even run OBS by himself. He has to have COD do it for him.
It's not my Ethernet cable.
So, yeah, Will goes. Owen prefers White Claw to beer. Yay. Yeah, well, I mean,
Sam.
Yeah, What's that? Keck.
Do you want to know the real reason why people watch Owen Benjamin? Because they want to see him, Chris Benoit, his family, and himself live. That's why everybody watches him. They want him to be the next Chris Benoit.
Well,
I see that. I can see that.
You know I'm right. You know I'm right.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, other than that though, I really don't give a shit about Owen Benjamin. I don't watch the show or anything. I'm like, I don't care. He does his own shit. You know, whatever. It's not his. He's not my cup of tea. I'm just waiting for him to do the inevitable.
Yeah, no, I wasn't going to bring him up, but like I wasn't even going to bring him up, but I didn't realize that that's how Three Olives found me initially was because of the Owen stuff. So, but yeah, the other thing is Owen claims to be like a very like musically knowledgeable, but he's not at all. I'm not even a professional musician, and I know more about music than he does.
When I watched him on D Live, it was literally only like the same 3 songs, like Pink Floyd, Gunner's Dream.
Yeah, and he doesn't even know that much about. Like, I'm actually a Pink Floyd like fan.
Oh, I love them.
And
he's my favorite.
And he doesn't know anything other than like other than Breathe in the Air and Time. So he didn't even know who David Gilmour was. Did we lose you?
Me?
I think we lost all of
Yeah,
them.
my internet's been a little funky.
I think this froze.
Oh no, you're back.
Yeah, it's been freezing up on my end.
Yeah, Discord
Yeah, I don't know if it was me or the Discord or what.
I think it was Olives. Yeah, and Discord has been doing some strange stuff lately too.
Well, it needs to quit doing that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, Sam, do you know what tomorrow is? On the
Uh.
1st?
Oh my. Well, I know it's Monday.
I'll give you a hint. 9 years ago, America lost one of its greatest icons. He died on March 1st, 2012. And he's a hero not just to you, but to me as well, and to a lot of people.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Andrew's passing. Yeah.
Andrew Breitbart, the man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah. He was a legend indeed. So I wish. I wish Ben. I wish Ben would have stayed with Breitbart instead of start his own, thing. But that's just me.
I mean, I'm not a fan of Shapiro, but I'll tell you what though, man, Andrew Breitbart, I love it when he used to be on Fox News on Red Eye on some nights, and he was hilarious and he was smart. I'll tell you what though, Fox News just fucked up when they got rid of Red Eye. That was like their best show. This was before Tucker.
Yeah, they fucked up when they got rid of Red Eye, and they also fucked up when they got rid of basically when they stopped showing like the lake cam too. Oh.
Yeah, the leg cam. I remember the leg cam.
Yeah.
Right. See what you wrote about Roger Ailes. He was a genius.
Yeah.
And he was the man at Fox.
Yeah,
Ever since he died, just sucked.
Yeah, but I mean, he was also up there in age too, so it wasn't really surprising when he passed. But yeah.
Yeah. But as far as Andrew Breitbart, I cried when he died because he was like one of my favorite people.
Yeah,
and it hit me. I was like, oh man, and it made an impact, on the conservative movement. But in a way, I think his legacy lives on. When he in the alternative media, his influence. Guys like you, Vincent James, people like that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I cried when Andrew died. I mean, hell, I cried last Wednesday when Rush died too, which it's kind of I wouldn't say it's ironic, but it's interesting that Rush passed so close to Breitbart's death because Rush was the one who inspired Breitbart initially. I don't know if you knew that or not, but
I did not know that. But I'll tell you what, though. I mean, if it was for Rush Limbaugh is the man. If it wasn't for him, you would not have podcasts now. You would not have like Joe Rogan or Alex Jones, or any people like that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. This medium would not exist at all. So, but yeah. Welcome back, Olives. I think you're back now.
What's up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Breitbart was so amazing.
Yeah. No, he was funny too, and so was Rush. They were both funny.
Yeah. I remember Andrew one time on Red Eye. There was a segment about they were selling powder. Some company was selling powdered wine or whatever. People churches were buying it for like communion or whatever.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And Greg Gutfeld looked at Andrew said, Andrew, what do you think about this whole powder wine stick? Powder wine? Hang on. And he pulls up a plate with like powdered wine in a line, and he grabbed a straw and he snorted on air. He snorted powdered wine on air. I was like, oh my god, this dude fucking rules.
I remember that. I also remember when he would like. I remember he was on Dennis Miller's show once, and he's like, if anyone out there is a seamstress, he's like, I'd like you to make me a a Captain Capitalism cape so that I can run through Occupy Wall Street, throwing free money at them. So yeah, he was hilarious. So
And
His videos on YouTube are good to watch.
yeah,
yeah. And there's another thing on Reddit where like they were talking about something. I think it was marbles, and then Greg turned to Andrew and said, "Andrew, what do you think about this whole marble thing?" All of a sudden, Andrew started spitting out marbles out of his mouth, and he started pouring them out of his hand. Started pouring marbles all off his vest and all that, his jacket. I was like,
yeah,
"My God, this dude's just nuts."
Yeah, I remember
One
that.
more thing. You remember?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, and can we talk about Andrew? Can we talk about Andrew Breitbart at Anthony Weiner's press conference?
Yeah,
When he stole the show. That.
Oh,
shit. I was like, oh my God, I wish we had him now more than ever.
Oh, I mean, my whole thing is, if he were around, because people forget this, but he died like before Romney was even the nominee, and had Breitbart still been around, I don't think we would have gotten a second term of Obama. I don't. So
I don't think so either, because I don't think Romney would have been the choice. I don't know who would have been at that time, because who knows? It might have been Herman Cain. That could have been the nominee. I don't know.
That was my pick at the time. So
hey, I voted for Herman Cain. I liked him better than the other people there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I would have voted for him, but I was 4 months shy of turning 18 at the time. So,
I have a thing. What would happen if Breitbart was still alive and he worked for the Trump administration?
Oof.
Imagine him as the press secretary.
That would have been great.
I think they took him out
every day.
No, I mean, I've heard that, but I've also heard from people that knew Andrew well that he had a congenital heart, defect because he was adopted too, so no one knew his biology, and I guess like when you're adopted, there is certain genetic stuff that they don't have information on. So yeah, I don't know.
I remember the video he was supposed to release, and then he died.
About John Podesta. Yeah, he was supposed to release something about John Podesta, and he got murdered. I think he got killed. I think, hell, at Congress at a session, they were talking about heart attack guns that they developed. There was video. Who knows? They might have used that on Andrew and his coroner. Hell, he died. Not long after he did autopsy on Breitbart, he died.
Yeah,
so who knows, man?
That
was he just out jogging?
Yeah, it breaks up the noggin.
Yeah, that was pretty weird.
Yeah, I mean, kind of pissed me off, Andrew being murdered. I mean, I just can't forget the left for doing that, taking away a great man like that when he could have given us some more years of entertainment and truth and enlightenment.
Yeah, well,
exposed so much.
Well, I'm honestly surprised that they didn't try and take out Trump during his. I mean, for all we know, that they did and just failed.
Well, I imagine they tried to kill him multiple times and they couldn't do it. I'll tell you what, though. I mean, he's still got some influence. He's got some power. I mean, if they try to kill him now, people get. Well, you're talking about riots, shit.
Oh yeah.
Trump. I mean, right now, the left. I don't think they want to kill the guy because they know it would, they would jump. It would bite him in the ass. They'll try to humiliate him. They'll try to demean him. All that. That's what they're going to do. I mean, hell, right now I look at Twitter and people are already gotten the regret voting for Biden. I said, what do you expect, you fucking idiots?
Yeah.
Well, what I find.
He's not going to give you the stimulus checks. He's not going to do this, that, and the other. I mean, hell, he doesn't even know what year he's in. It's his advisors. It's his handlers that are controlling the presidency.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he doesn't even know what he signed, and I don't think.
Yeah, well, what I find funny is how all these leftists are complaining now because they're like, "Oh, we were gonna get $2,000, so that's why we voted for Biden in the first place." I'm like, you're literally admitting that you voted for Biden strictly because he promised you free money, which, you know, I knew Biden wasn't gonna do any of that, so.
Hey guys, I gotta run. It was nice talking to you, Sam. I'll hop in again.
It was good talking to you too. Yeah, and I mean it's almost 1:45 here, so I think I'll wrap up the show. But it was great talking to both you guys. So.
Have a good one, Keck Boy.
Yeah, it was nice finally making my debut here, Sam.
Yeah, it was good having you on. So, and thanks for being a support of the show, and thanks for joining my Patreon and all of that. So it's nice to finally talk to you.
You're very much welcome. And nobody I want to press F in the chat for Andrew Breitbart on Monday. Be sure to take a shot in honor of his memory.
We'll do for sure. I'll probably have a video on the channel in his memory. So, but
yeah, I mean, if you look up on YouTube, there's on YouTube there is a Red Eye special about Andrew Breitbart the day he died. If you look him up, like Fox News Red Eye Andrew Breitbart tribute or whatever, and it's got all the guests. It's got Steve Bannon, Ann Coulter, and everyone else talking about. Oh, and Ben Shapiro talking about Breitbart.
Yep, I remember.
I'll have to look that up.
So you might have to play him for all of us to watch.
Yeah, we'll go through it. Maybe.
Yeah.
I'll wait then.
And also a few months before Andrew died, you know who else died? Patrice O'Neill, another icon.
Yeah,
I was just thinking about
Black
that.
man that red pills people. I mean, that's saying though, man. Two men within months of died who are pretty much, American, icons. They red pill people on the left and all that, and they died. No, I mean, we know Patrice didn't die of murder. He died of diabetes.
Yeah.
Which is a shame now because I wish him and Andrew were alive right now because we need those guys more than ever.
I wish that.
Imagine the woman movement going up against Patrice.
I wish that Patrice were still around just to see him and Nick DiPaolo talking with each other because, I mean, yeah, when Nick.
I'll say this though, man. If Patrice O'Neill were alive right now, he would, and he had a podcast, he'd be bigger than Joe Rogan. Can we agree with that? He'd be bigger than Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'd love to see Owen try and mess with Patrice because I feel like Patrice would have absolutely massacred Owen.
Definitely.
Patrice would ruin Owen so bad it'll force Owen to change his ways.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And
which Owen needs help badly. He needs to change.
Oh yeah, he absolutely does.
Get some help.
Yeah, and Laura B has a good comment. Time to be those guys.
Right.
Yep. Well, I mean that's personally for me, Laura. As I've said, Rush and Andrew and Dennis Miller are all on my Mount Rushmore of influences. So.
Dennis Miller and Norm MacDonald.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. Alrighty, guys. Well, I'm gonna wrap this up, and thanks for calling in, both of you.
No problem. Have a good one.
Problem.
Thanks.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you.
I want to say to everyone, good night and God bless.
All right, thank you. Yes, God bless you too, Fat Kick Boy. Thanks. Alrighty, folks, and yeah, that's the first time that we've had callers live on stream, so actually in the same window with me, so very cool. And yeah, that'll do it for tonight's show. I want to thank all of you for tuning in to the broadcast and the podcast. From all of us here at NGC Studios, have a good night. God bless. God save this great nation. God, freedom, I can see in that order. And I'll see you on the next episode of the Whitfield Report.